Is Monty in the Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is the Monty Show. Hi, Jake.
Hello.
Yes, we are going to talk Utah Jazz basketball today, no doubt about that. They have the Knicks tonight. Should the Utah Jazz be starting Walker Kessler? That's an interesting question. A week from now, James Wiseman will be here in Salt Lake City at the Mavericks Center. That's right. Should the Golden State Warriors trade James Wiseman? We'll talk about that. We got to talk about the price of fast food, because you know how much on this show we adore fast food.
Right, yeah. Clearly.
We adore fast food on this show.
Right, obviously.
Do we not?
Oh, we do. Yeah, 100%.
Fat?
Yeah, 100%.
What do you mean fat, Jake?
I'm fat all day. I am first team all fat ass. There's no question about that.
Well, I would absolutely agree with that.
You know,
I think there's no doubt.
I mean, we could probably do like 3 hours just on fast food. That's,
yeah, and we might do that later in the show.
Yeah.
But hey, don't forget that the G League does open up here on Monday with the Santa Cruz Warriors in town Monday and Tuesday. The Utah Grizzlies return to the Mavericks Center coming up on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and the building is completely different.
Yes.
All of the new visuals are up, the massive Jumbotron, the ribbon boards. It is really impressive what is going on in this building right now. So super stoked. The Idaho Steelheads are in town starting Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Then it is the Salt Lake Stars of the G League, Johnny Juzang. The Stars and the Santa Cruz Warriors will tip off on Monday and Tuesday. So an incredible time here at the Mavericks Center, which is where you find the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. When you get in a wreck, when you need help, it's one of the worst feelings in the world when you get in a car accident. Make sure that you have the representation who will fight for you. That's the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. Let's get to work on the Utah Utes. Yes, see, we here at the Monty Show like to listen. You said you wanted all Utes all the time. Well, you didn't say that, but they are in the biggest game of the week. There's no doubt about that. Utah and Oregon, the Utes remain a 3-point favorite in that game, but the news this week has largely been about those who will not be returning next year, including star quarterback Cam Rising, who is going to the National Football League by all accounts. Jake, is Cam Rising an all-time Utah Utes great?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's not in question. I think that, Cam Rising has done some awesome things at Utah, and I think that, the storylines are what will cement him forever, and you all know the storylines. We don't have to go back through them all, but I 100% believe that he is a Utah great and someone who will be remembered for a long time, and I think this conversation about winning and his ability and in how his ability translates to the next level is a really fascinating one, because I am somebody who has said repeatedly that I think Cam Rising is not a bona fide, starter in the NFL. However, I do think that he is someone who could be a really quality backup and someone who could easily spell a starter who suffered a major injury and is going to be on IR for 8 weeks, or he can be that bridge guy. And so I do think he'll get a chance in the NFL. I do think that he'll get an opportunity, but I wonder if the speed of the NFL will be a big problem for him, or how it translates for him, because there are a lot of times where I feel like against UCLA is a good example. Like that game, I felt like a lot of the issues were speed related. UCLA is obviously a very fast team. They have a lot of talent, and so some of the decision making there wasn't great. But then you see him, against other quality opponents, and he plays well. So I don't know. My gut feeling just tells me that he's not like a bona fide number one, starter in the league. I think that he is a quality backup, and he will have a nice NFL career.
I actually think he's not one of the best quarterbacks ever. And some of this is going to be that his window is very small, right? He is going to play almost 2 full seasons. And obviously last year, quitter, noodle arm quarterback, got the start out of camp. But Cam Rising was the straw that stirred the drink here. I think we all recognize that. This year, it's been Cam's job full-time with the exception of the Washington State game. Like, you feel like, though, that Cam Rising has been part of the biggest wins, the biggest games, some of the biggest moments in the history of Utah football. Perhaps not the biggest moments back in the, Brian Johnson, Alex Smith days, but you feel like the Rose Bowl. You feel like winning the first Pac-12 championship, which was done on his arm and Tavion Thomas's legs. You feel like Cam Rising has had some of the most impactful moments and played in some of the biggest games, but I don't think that he is Alex Smith. I don't think that he is a Scott Mitchell.
Facts.
I don't think that he's a Brian Johnson. I think Cam Rising has been a very good quarterback for Utah, Jake, but I don't think he's one of the best ever. I really don't.
Yeah, I guess, for me, so that's a really interesting point you make, and I think it's really important to take into account when we ask if he's one of the best quarterbacks or one of the best players Utah has ever seen. It's important to account for who you're asking, because if you ask me that question, I'm definitely going to tell you, yes, in my opinion, he is, because I didn't experience Alex Smith
Sure.
I didn't experience Scott Mitchell, and I always love the conversation about people's perspective on it, because for me and people my age, I think most people be like, yeah, Cam's our guy. Cam's our quarterback. Like, he did take us to the Rose Bowl. Like, he did do all this great stuff. But then if you ask someone who's been a Utah fan for, 2 decades, and they know those names and they watch those names and they experience the good, the bad, and the ugly, they're probably going to say, yeah, Alex Smith was better. And admittedly, Alex Smith did have a better career at Utah. Like, I think we can all agree on that. But you kind of see what I'm getting at here. And I think in the college world, that dynamic is alive and well every single year, because guys are only here for, like in Cam's case, 2 years.
Right, but I also think that we tend to easily forget the legends of the past because of what's happening right in front of us. And I think, you could make the argument, obviously, that Alex Smith and Cam Rising are different generations. Okay, that's fine. I look at Travis Wilson. I think Travis Wilson was a strictly average quarterback. I look at Cam Rising. I think Cam Rising is a far better quarterback than Travis Wilson. But I also think that he's on par. I think he's a better thrower of the football than Brian Johnson is. I think he's an equal athlete to who Brian Johnson is. I just think that emotionally, a lot of Utah fans will hang on to Brian Johnson over Cam Rising. And I'm telling you that when I look back and looking at some of the comments that are coming in, I mean, I think he's a better quarterback than a Brett Ratliff. I think he's a better quarterback. If I look at some of the numbers, like total career touchdowns, he's not going to get anywhere near Scott Mitchell. But Scott Mitchell also played 3 full seasons and was arguably and statistically the best quarterback in the history of Utah football.
Right.
But I think one of the things, and why I wanted to bring this up today, is I think we need to appreciate Cam Rising's contribution to this program.
Yeah.
Because I think Cam has largely held this program together through some very difficult times. And I think Cam, when you go through what Cam went through last year, and you, in my opinion, won the job out of camp and it still wasn't given to you, and then quitter quarterback melts down, I think it's huge that you can see that Cam persevered through that, and that's why he is so beloved by his teammates.
Some shit happened.
Yeah, I think you have to appreciate who Cam Rising is and what he's been through in his college journey, and I certainly think that this is an incredible moment in time for him. And yeah, I do think he should go to the NFL. And I do think he's going. And he did participate in senior day activities. And Cam Rising deserves every opportunity. And I think the other thing you have to remember is guys like Devon Bailey and Cam Rising are not 20-year-old kids.
Right.
And I think that's something that is really significant. I just think that you have to understand that Cam Rising as a guy, he is somebody who, he didn't start here. You remember what he started at Texas.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
his story is really dynamic, and I think your point about like his leadership and everything that the program went through, and like the fact that he's been the guy that's kind of shepherded the team through the fire, if you will, like like that. Like people don't just forget that stuff. Like I almost feel like there's two paths to college football greatness, if you will, because again, greatness and infamy are two different things, right?
Yes.
Johnny Manziel is infamous for his ability at the college level at A&M, right? Like he's infamous for what he did, and then NFL didn't really work out for Buddy, right? But then you look at Cam and you're like, okay, this guy may not have won every single bowl under the sun, right? Like he had a Rose Bowl appearance, he got hurt, they lose, okay, great. But it's not really about that in Cam's story. And that's what I think is really, really important to say. Like the winning, obviously you play the game to win, right? That's we've been saying that for decades at this point in sports. But I think at the college level, what makes college football so special is the stories, is the narratives and what these guys go through. And I think that Cam, I just think the kid deserves all the credit in the world for bearing the responsibility of being the face of the program when teammates are dying, when quarterback leaves the program, when I don't know, this little thing called COVID rolled through the world and you were trying to play college football, right? When this little thing called NIL happened and you were trying to figure out how that worked. Like these are big time things that happen that he had to work through for just himself, not only the rest of the team. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just about winning. And that's why I think Cam, in my opinion, should be in that group of all-timers. Because when you think about, because it's very much a conversation of, hey, who are some all-timers at Utah? Who are some great quarterbacks at Utah? Like, I think he's going to be in that group. I have no problem putting him there. I just don't struggle with it. Like from a feel perspective, I don't feel like it's awkward to throw him in that group.
But he's better than a Jordan Wynn. I just think that statistically, you're never going to get the story told about Cam Rising because he's going to play parts of 2 seasons. And certainly did not, obviously didn't play the full season last year.
Yeah.
But I think the Texas transfer, and what was he, a class of 2018, I think, at Texas, redshirt, doesn't play, transfer, gets to Utah, and I think his story starts with that QB competition in camp last year.
Yeah.
So I just think he's had a much smaller exposure. He won't on paper look like one of the greatest quarterbacks ever at Utah, but he is.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. Have you changed your mind at all? Have you changed your mind at all on Utah versus Oregon this weekend? Do you have because I still think, and it depends on Bo Nix, the running back, how healthy he is. But I still feel like Utah should win this game because I think they're a better team.
Yeah, so I agree with that. There's a little voice in the back of my head that says, hey, you're playing a dangerous game anytime you say any team should win a game going up to Oregon. That I definitely have those
Yes.
small doubts, just from a football perspective. But I look at this game and again, I'm going to stay on the Bo Nix thing. Like, if Bo Nix is not 100% in the running department, I think that changes the game, man. Like, if he is reduced to just kind of scrambling, like moving around, but just within the pocket or maybe just within the tackle box, like that's going to be a very different experience for that offense than Bo Nix, the runner, who's going to break the defense off for 25. Like, that's
right.
a different thing. And so to me, I look at this, and yeah, while we're on the Cam Rising topic, Cam Rising damn well better not turn the football over this week, dude. You damn well better not throw an interception or fumble it in the A-gap like you did, right? Like, that's not going to – there's no room for that this week against this quality of a team. Like, you have to play a very quality game to win at Oregon.
I'm not saying that Cam Rising is Michael Penix. I don't think he is. But what Penix did to Oregon, I think very clearly – is a light into the weakness of that Oregon defense. And I think, obviously, I think Cam Rising's incredibly dynamic. I do. But I also think that when you look at, You look at what Cam is able to do. The question is, how healthy is he? He looked fine to me against Stanford and Arizona.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so
his numbers say he was fine.
Yeah, they do. I think Tavion Thomas probably is a much more impactful player this week because you're going to have to extend drives because you want to keep Bo Nix off the field. But I think Cam Rising is the guy that lives for these games. And I think that Utah defense is deep. It's talented. I still maintain you're going to miss Van Filliger, and you better hope that when he's back there passing, you can get pressure on Bo Nix. We'll see how healthy Bo is. Obviously dealing with what most people think is a lower leg injury. But in college, they don't tell you what that is because, of course, that's HIPAA, Dak. Thank you.
Right.
And so we'll see how healthy Bo Nix is.
I think that's HIPAA?
Yeah, but I'm still going to lean towards Utah because I think Utah's defense is very good. I think Cam Rising lives for these games. And I think, again, Devon Bailey is a guy that's going to have a big game or you're not going to win.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, that point about like, hey, Cam lives for these games. Kyle Whittingham lives for these games too. Like I think the coaching staff at Utah, is just notorious for having those guys ready. Like they just do. And I look at the big games they've played over the last couple of seasons with this core group. And I just simply say, like, there's never been one where I'm like, damn, like they just got lit up. Like BYU went to Oregon and got lit. I've never said that about Utah. That doesn't happen in Utah. And so to me, I'm very comfortable saying that Utah is very much in this game. I think the point you've been making the last couple of shows about like, winning the middle eight, as they call it, right? The last 4 minutes of the first half and that first 4 minutes coming out in the second half, like that's real. And I think it's more real for the road team in any scenario. Like it is a big deal if you can possess the football a ton in the first half and really control the game. That will really help you later down the road because then you don't have these huge momentum swings, which I think Oregon feeds off of that at home. Hey, we got this big play and we, like that really just juices the stadium. And now, Utah is going to be reeling. Like you can't have that situation, which is why I'm so steadfast on don't turn the football over. Don't make the silly mistake. Like don't give them extra opportunities. Don't feed into that. Play your game. And you will be fine. Like you're totally right. If Tavion has another Tavion type performance, they're going to be just fine.
It'd be great if he could run for 120. I mean, that Oregon defense isn't superb. I mean, Utah's clearly, in my opinion, the best defense in the Pac-12. I think we know that. I mean, they've only given up. You played 10 games, and I think they've given up 25 touchdowns or something stupid like that. But Oregon's in the 30s. I mean, you cannot throw the ball on the Utes. If you're going to beat Utah, you're going to have to run the ball, and I think we all know that Bo Nix loves running the ball. But again, how healthy is he? And controlling the last four in the first 4 minutes of the second half. If you control the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half, in my opinion, I have always been and I will always be a guy that believes in deferring the kickoff to the second half because I think it gives you a tremendous advantage, especially if you can win the last 4 minutes of the first half. I think you have to do that. I think when you look at the situations where you have Tavion playing his style and stylistically and his ability, playing up to those abilities, they're going to win the football game.
Yeah.
If you can get really good disciplined run defense and those linebackers play well and you're getting Cole Bishop down in the box being assertive against the run, I think you're going to win the game because if you can make Bo Nix a passer, you're going to win the game. You're going to turn him over.
Yeah.
But the question is, are you ready to perform? I think you are. All right, let's get some of your thoughts in here this morning. Neville93, first one in. Good morning, Neville. Good to see you. Mike Chase says, morning, fellas. No, I don't think Cam Rising is an NFL-style quarterback. I mean, mentally, he can play the game. But I don't know that there is a physical comparison to Cam Rising. I mean, I don't even know who you would compare him to because he's such a dual threat. Because I think he's a good thrower of the football. He's not – I mean, he's never going to be the best arm in the world, but the guy can really throw the football. I mean, his arm talent is going to be behind others. But make no mistake about it, Cam Rising can really throw the football.
Yeah, he just strikes me as a guy like that. It's not that he's like so undersized or like he has all these physical limitations, you know, like he just strikes me as someone who's got to win the game with his mind. And that's not like impossible to do. Like the guy clearly is sharp. The guy clearly understands what a defense is trying to do to him. But I think my concern comes in when we get into the dual threat aspect of things, because a lot of the opportunities that you see at the college level will not be present at the NFL level because of how fast linebackers are at the NFL level. And I think that's why I say, like, I think that Cam is right now today, right, is a guy who is not a starter in the NFL, is a quality backup. That said, notice I'm not saying he can't develop into a starter. I'm a big believer, hey, if you have the ability to read a defense and understand the defensive concept, right? Because the league very much has two kind of quarterbacks, right? Mentally speaking, right? This is not a physical conversation. Mentally speaking, you have two types. You have the guy who can read the defense, who understands where the pressure's coming from, is going to make the adjustments in protection, and then is going to play the game. Maybe he doesn't have the strongest arm, right? But he's really sharp mentally. And then you have the guy who isn't as sharp mentally, right? Doesn't always understand where the pressure's coming from, but has a cannon, right? Has physical gifts that allow him to overcome that. So to me, physically, Cam falls somewhere in the middle because he can run and he does have a good enough arm, but it's not a cannon, right? So it's like this kind of like B+ sort of A- thing where you're like sort of in the middle. But if he can read the defense and understands what's happening, I think he will be fine. That's where I think he comes down right now.
But I also think systematically he's very limited. I think the philosophy, the philosophical differences between Lincoln Riley and Kyle Whittingham is always going to limit whoever the quarterback at Utah is.
That's true.
I
That's
think
very true. He plays for a defensive head coach.
He does, and I think when you have a battering ram like Tavion Thomas back there, you're not going to lead this conference. But is he a Caleb Williams or a Michael Penix? No, he's not. He's not going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. But if you look at the rankings, is he a Jaden DeLora? He certainly isn't the thrower that Jaden DeLora is, but what else does Arizona have, in my opinion? Not much. I look at Bo Nix. I'm taking Cam Rising over Bo Nix.
But if and I would agree with that. I think the question we have to ask and just be obvious about it is if Cam Rising played for Lincoln Riley, is he a Heisman Trophy candidate? Because
I think he is.
If he played in an offensive system where he was constantly slinging it, yeah, you could probably make the case that, again, with his mental ability, because he clearly, I see him do it all the time. Dude, the guy changes protections all the time. He changes plays from time to time. He'll tell Tavion to go right instead of left, and it works out. So I have no doubt that he understands the game. Your point about playing for a defensive edge coach is well taken. And I think in the NFL, again, see this all the time, depending on who you get drafted by, Zachy Poo, that will definitely define your arc in the NFL.
And I also think, by the way, if he had one of the top-rated receivers in the country, I don't know, Puka Nacua, if he had better wide receiver talent, I think that Cam Rising clearly would be a better quarterback. But I think that this is what always the conversation always comes back to at Utah. This is a defense-first team.
Yes.
This is a run-the-football first team. So you're never going to be able to win recruiting battles for top-tier talent on the outside offensively and at quarterback. You're not.
With all due respect.
You're just not going to do that. So I think it's really interesting to kind of factor all of that in. And I say all of that because I don't know that we truly have a grasp on just how much top end Cam Rising has left the show, because I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
I think based on what we've seen with Brant Keithy and Dalton Kincaid, it tells you he can deliver a football in time and space.
Yeah.
But I don't think that you have that breakout wide receiver. You don't have a Drez Anderson. You don't have a Dyson. You don't have one of those elite, Kenny Scott, go get the ball down the field and throw it to the corner kind of guys.
Yeah.
You don't have that. What you have is Dalton Kincaid, and you had Brant Keithy, but I mean, you're really limited as a quarterback at Utah.
Dude, you don't even have a back. With all due respect to Tavion, it's not like you have a prolific dual threat running back either. Like, I love Tavion, dude. Like, battering ram is the perfect label for Tavion. I'm a huge fan of having a guy like that in the backfield, but again, as far as numbers, as far as projections, like who Cam could be, the what-if game. Yeah, I think Cam could be one of the best quarterbacks in college football if he had a Drez Anderson, if he had that big-name wide receiver.
Yeah.
But the fact is, he doesn't have that, and they're still going to the Rose Bowl.
What if it wasn't Devon Vele and instead it was Addison at USC? Pick any of the because there's a ton of outside talent in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
That's my point. It's really difficult if you're Kyle Whittingham to sit in the top quarterback and wide receivers' living rooms and say, yeah, we're going to put you in the NFL. What we're going to do is put you on defense and make you a corner, and then you're going to go to the NFL.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's the conversation you're going to have.
Yes.
So I think that's an interesting – to me, that's interesting. Travis Berg, good morning to you. He says Cam is awesome. I would agree. Cam Rising is a really good quarterback. Kyle J says, good morning, guys. I bet Cam is back in SLC next year. There's no upside for him to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the injury that forced him out against Washington State was a look inside of his mind. I think if you're Cam Rising, you're coming off of a superb run to the Rose Bowl, and you've got your team in that exact same position. My man, if he goes to Oregon and wins, there's no reason for him to come back to Utah.
Nah, you got to ride that momentum, dude.
I mean, you've beaten, USC, UCLA. Like, you've won all those games. Now you've won a conference championship. Now you've been to the Rose Bowl. Now you're in position to win another conference championship and go to another Rose Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. The guy's
Why would you come back,
dude? The guy's accomplished a ton, man. Like, you're exactly right when you say, like, hey, he's not going to have the stats that some of the Utah greats have because he only would have been here for 2 years. But in those 2 years, what did the guy do? And in those 2 years, what did he have to deal with? A lot.
That's right.
And a lot, right? Like, he's done a lot in his 2 seasons. And I think that timing, especially when you play at Utah as a quarterback or even an offensive player, right? The timing with which you go to the draft is crucial because, yes, if you do beat Oregon Saturday, you got to go to the NFL draft. That's not even a conversation. That is the correct decision.
I don't think there's any question that you have to find a way, and this is just my opinion, that you have to find a way to absolutely get yourself as high in the draft as a quarterback as possible. If you are drafted in the first 2 rounds, you are going to make significantly more money than you would being a 6th-round pick. Now, here's the problem: is Cam Rising a first or second-round pick? He's probably not. And I would ask the question: is Cam Rising an NFL draft pick?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
I think he's a late-round pick, and he's a guy that earns a spot in camp. He is going to have the tougher road. Like, I'm not trying to say that Cam Rising sucks or anything like that, but the fact is, if you're not a top 10 pick as a quarterback, if you're not that guy that is like on national radars, you're gonna have a tough time cracking that 52-man roster. You're gonna have to build your resume through camp. You're gonna have to earn that spot. You're gonna have to go out there and you're gonna have to beat other guys, which is what he's been doing his whole life, by the way. I'd just like to point that out. That's not new for Cam Rising, right? Like, he's been doing that, but yeah, I would have no problem in my organization. A lot of factors at play, but just generally speaking, I'd have no problem drafting him.
I think the bigger issue is, where does he rank in the conference? Because is he a Tanner McKee at Stanford? Another older player, right? He served a church mission, right? So is he? He's an older player. He is, he's a very highly rated quarterback. He's probably the 4th quarterback in the draft. Because you're not going to be Bryce Young. You're not going to be C.J. Stroud. You're not going to be Will Levis at Kentucky. That's just not who Cam Rising is. Not at least to talent evaluators. Yeah. He's not going to be that guy. But is he a Hendon Hooker at Tennessee? I don't know. He's probably not. He's probably not looked at as the athlete is. Like, he's a guy and again, this is just my opinion. Yeah. He's a guy who's got to have a massive combine. Yeah. He's a guy who's got to go to Indianapolis and he's got to really perform. But if I look at the quarterback rankings, he's never going to be a C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. He's never going to be Bryce Young, who I think is the best NFL prospect in the draft.
What is Cam's physical specs? Because Stroud is 6'3", like 230 or whatever that just said. Like, what is what is Cam Rising? So on the right there, 6'2",
220.
So I mean, it's not like he's a small guy.
No, he's a huge guy for a quarterback.
He's got good size, and that's what I'm saying. I think that not every. I know for a fact NFL talent evaluators and really NFL GMs, right? Because talent evaluators are just the guy that are filling out a piece of paper telling you who the guy is, right? It's not their job to have an opinion. Their job is to say, okay, can this guy throw it 70 yards or can he throw it 20 yards, right? Like, that's their job. The GM of any given team has to decide, how does this guy fit into our system? And that, to me, may be the biggest challenge Cam faces, because everyone knows the guy can win games. Everyone knows he's got size. And I, in my opinion, think that everyone knows that mentally he is sharp and knows the game.
But,
so,
I mean, the elephant in the room is he the best quarterback in the state when it comes to the NFL draft?
Yeah, well, that's not a conversation Cam Rising wants to have.
Yeah, because I don't think it is. I honestly, I don't think he is the best I don't think he's better than Jaren Hall. And I think NFL talent evaluators will look at Jaren Hall and they will tell you that Jaren Hall's a better pro prospect. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I've talked to a ton of football guys, and nobody disagrees with me on that. Jaren Hall, simply put, a better NFL prospect.
Yeah.
Is he a better quarterback? I don't know. I don't think we've seen that, because I think we've seen Cam Rising playing in games that are of far more consequence than any game that BYU's played in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge issue. I also think when you look at what Zach Poo's done with the Jets, I think that has an impact. We're starting to see Zach Wilson win games with the Jets. So if Zach had been a complete bust, I think that hurts Jaren Hall.
Yes.
But my point is, I think if you asked an NFL scout, who would you rather have, Jaren Hall or Cam Rising? He's going to take Jaren Hall every time, because Jaren Hall is a really superior thrower of the football. I mean, a really good thrower of the football. The John Beck coaching that happened with Jaren Hall has changed him into an elite NFL prospect. I think I could make an argument that Jaren Hall is a top 5 prospect in the NFL draft for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think I could make an argument. On Monty's big board, on Uncle Monty's big board, Bryce Young's going to be the first guy off the board.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I love his poise. I love that he loves finishing games. He'll play hurt. He plays with heart. He plays with tenacity. I love everything about him. I think C.J. Stroud at Ohio State is vastly overrated. I think C.J. Stroud at Ohio State is vastly overrated, because I think his level of competition has not been what Bryce Young has seen. But
yeah.
I mean, you look at most of the names on people's big boards. Look how high KJ Jefferson at Arkansas is.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's had a career, like, as far as his college, like,
but he's also 6'3", 700 pounds. He is a massive human being.
Yeah.
But is that a guy that you're taking over a Jaren Hall, or is that a guy that you're taking over if you look at, I don't know, Tyler Van Dyke at Miami is a really good example, because I think Tyler Van Dyke Van
Dyke's a big boy.
He should be a top 5 prospect.
Yeah, he's a big dude
in the NFL draft for quarterbacks. Yeah. He's not. And why isn't he? Because he plays at flipping Miami.
Yeah, I think that NFL talent evaluators obviously understand that there are gems outside of the SEC, right? Like, everybody knows that. And I think that, the Jaren thing, I just don't think is a conversation. He's a better NFL prospect.
I would agree.
And I don't think that, I'm not really in the mood for a Utah fan getting all pissed off that we said that. Like,
Too late.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's reality, NFL. Like, it's very clear what you need to be an NFL prospect, like a high-end starter material
guy. But look
guy.
at Penix at Washington.
Yeah.
Didn't he come from Purdue or somewhere? Indiana, I think. Indiana.
Sure.
He plays
Midwest boy eating those steak and potatoes.
But he plays 4 years at Indiana.
Yeah.
And sputters.
Yeah.
Because, well, it's Indiana.
Right.
Because it's garbage.
He goes to Washington, and now he's throwing for and you should look up Michael Penix Jr.'s stats real quick.
Yeah.
But I know he's got 20 touchdowns. Like, he's elevated his game, and he's a dual threat quarterback who can now say, hey, I knew at Indiana I wasn't an NFL draft pick. I know now that I transferred to the Pac-12, went to Washington, And I went to Autzen Stadium and I beat Oregon by myself because Washington doesn't win that game without Penix, who I'm pretty sure has over 20 passing touchdowns this year.
Yeah,
what are his numbers?
So his numbers, he's 286 for 426, so 286 completions out of 426 attempts, 67% completion percentage, 3,600 yards, 8.5 yards per attempt, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
There you go. I mean, he 25 touchdowns against 6 interceptions in a league that's gotten much better defensively.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about when I say growth. I look at a guy like Jaren Hall. Jaren Hall, after last season, knew 2 things. I got to stay healthy, and I've got to be a better thrower of the football. I've got to win games from the pocket.
Yeah, and I think this is another important point, just not to get too deep into the stats, but this is kind of what we were talking about with, how like Cam plays for a defensive-minded head coach and Kyle Whittingham. I think the Penix stats really kind of paint that picture really well. So you were totally right, nail on the head. He played at Indiana for 4 seasons, right? And his best season from an attempt standpoint at Indiana was 2020, when oddly enough he had 220 passing attempts at Indiana the whole season. At Washington, double that, 426 attempts, right? So you look at that and you say, okay, in 2020, on those 220 attempts, he had a 56% completion percentage. He had 1,600 yards, 14 TDs, 4 interceptions, and his long pass attempt the whole year was 68 yards. Okay, let's step into the real world at Washington, right? 426 attempts, 67% completion, right? 3,600 yards, and as long as 84 yards. So you can clearly see with more attempts, more shots downfield, better wide receiver talent, right? You're going to put up better numbers. So with Cam, and really, you see this with Jaren, you see that, hey, there's more shots down the field with BYU. There's more opportunities because it's Puka. And when it's not Puka, what happened to Jaren? And I do think this needs to be talked about. No Puka, like way less talent. Jaren had to work much harder, and he made throws, but he just didn't look as good. And it's not an indictment on guys to say, hey, if you got a better catcher of the football, you're going to complete more passes. I know that's rocket science, right?
And by the way, Penix has only been sacked 5 times. And
so better protection, better talent,
better health,
conference,
stays healthier, doesn't take those hits. Yeah. Anyway, my point is Cam Rising is going to be a serviceable NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think he's exactly right for leaving now when he's leaving. David Lee says, good morning, sirs. Good morning. What's up, Teddy Wayman? Good to see you. Strange Cloud says, what happened to all the BYU fanboys that used to litter the chat? Okay. Provo Cougar fan, a BYU fanboy that's littering. Says, will Conover finally see action against Utah Tech? How many points before Satake lets him play? You better hope. And again, how nice is Kalani Satake? Are we putting up 70 on Utah Tech?
No.
Are we
going to put up maybe 50.
Are we going to be Utah destroying Idaho?
No.
Are we going to be BYU being like, oh, good job, buddy. Hey, nice job. Okay, how's your mom? Okay, cool. All right, guys, let's kneel down with 10 minutes to go in the game.
Donnie, please.
Now I'm being a jerk, but you get my point.
Yeah. Yep.
Is BYU ready to put their foot on the throat of Utah Tech? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
I think that I didn't love after the Boise State game that that Kalani was like, yeah, they're a really well-coached team, and we got some things we still got to focus on, and we'll watch the film. Like, that's what he says every single week. And sometimes I just would love to hear Kalani say, both after a loss or during a win, I'd love to just see a little more emotion. I'm not even saying like anything outlandish. Just say, yeah, like we did our job this week. Like these past couple of weeks, we've really struggled. This week, we didn't struggle because we did our job. Like from the coaches to the players, like everybody came prepared to win this football game.
Yeah.
And I would love to see more of that. I like to Provo Cougar fan, like, yeah, Conover needs to get some reps at some point. But knowing this program, with all due respect, he's probably not going to see time until next year. Like, that's just what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I would agree. I would also agree that Barbecue Pit Stop is the godsend for smokers, barbecues, anybody that's a grill master, and you haven't been to barbecuepitstop.com, I have no idea what you're waiting for. bbqpitstop.com. We say it every single day, I feel like, on this show.
Yep.
When we talk football in this town, we talk about Barbecue Pit Stop because there's nothing better than tailgating and smoking your wings. There's nothing better than tailgating and smoking your brisket. There's nothing better than Utah at Oregon, a massive football game, dropping a brisket on the smoker Friday midday and letting that thing just live.
Yes.
Letting that smoker prime.
Y'all feel me?
Making sure that you allow those seasonings that you got at Barbecue Pit Stop to penetrate that brisket.
Lidocaine and B12.
Let it cure itself for a minute. Let it put it in a bowl, put it in the fridge. That's Friday afternoon. Then
Yes.
Friday late night, you're gonna preheat that smoker with some really good cherry. Maybe you go pecan, or maybe you go competition pellets in the hopper, right? You're gonna low 200 degrees. You're gonna put that brisket on the smoker
All night long, baby.
right? Then in the morning, it's going to look really good. The boys are coming over about 10 o'clock. We're going to pop open some Modelo's, and we're going to have the brisket on the smoker, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
And you're going to put that you're going to wrap it up and put it in a cooler for an hour or two. Then you're going to pull it out, and it's going to be perfect. And you're going to enjoy a Utah win at Oregon, right? But how did we get here? Because we started at Barbecue Pit Stop.
That's right, T.
bbqpitstop.com. Stop by any of their 5 stores in Utah, from Logan and Layton to Salt Lake City to Lehigh, all the way down to St. George. It's Barbecue Pit Stop. And the best part about the guys at Barbecue Pit Stop is the guys at Barbecue Pit Stop. They're going to teach you, they're going to inform you, they're going to educate that air on how to make the perfect brisket. Wings, steaks, chops, vegetable skewers, you name it, you can do it. Because you know they have the best equipment, right?
Yes.
Like Traeger, Yoder, Big Green Egg, Camp Chef,
Dude,
pizza ovens.
Yeah, pizza ovens, man. They got it all.
Come on, man. There's nothing better than waiting for that brisket to finish. Yeah, let's pop on a Papa Murphy's pizza right there. Take and bake it right onto the Traeger smoker we got at Barbecue Pit Stop. Absolute heaven. And by the way, you can chat with them online at bbqpitstop.com. Please make sure you tell them you heard about it at The Monty Show. Kenai Johnson, top of the morning to you. Fumbling ignorance. Okay. I love Cam. This team will definitely miss his leadership. That is something that is very underrated and difficult to replace. Amen, my man.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Kyle J., how are you? I hate comparing Cam to Jaron. They're both solid QBs in their own ways and fit their systems well. They do. Absolutely right. Provo says, with 37 possible senior walk-offs Saturday, if BYU loses all 37, ouch.
Yep. That's the nature of the beast, dude.
Yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of guys who want to play Big 12 football. You know what I'm saying? It just is.
Nature of the beast.
Kurt Meyer says Utah's trap game is Colorado. Yes, it is.
That's pretty much self-explanatory.
How many times has Colorado wrecked a Ute season?
Yeah.
Boyd Lake, what's up, dude? Good to see you, my friend. Provo Cougar fan says Colorado a trap game. Even BYU would beat Colorado. Go easy. Go easy. Exactly right, Kurt Myers. Look how many times Colorado beat Utah and kept them out of a Pac-12 championship game. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Come on now. Where's Giggity at? I saw Giggity earlier. There he is. Giggity. Good morning, fellas. How's Mrs. Monty feeling these days? She finally tested negative for Coco, but she's still dealing with a little bit of a cough.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, Mr. Longhall over here. It's tough to get rid of those Coco coughs.
Yeah, it is actually.
It
they
is.
come and go like 2 minutes. Like they come and go. Like one day you'll wake up with it and it's around and you got to work the cough drops and you got to do some lubricating. And then other days you're good to go.
Yep.
So I don't know how you explain it.
Boyd Lake says Tanner McKee. I wonder if he'd consider the transfer portal. No, he's going to the NFL. There is no doubt about that. He is going to the NFL. Travis Bird says Cam is going to be drafted by the Jets, 7th round, win a starting job. That would be miserable.
Yeah.
Kurt Myers says Travis may be the Broncos. Could be. I mean, look, I think, yeah, we'll see. Jesse Harsh says the real question is Jaron too small for the NFL? He's going to have to prove he can stay healthy. He will be, because he's a guy that goes to the combine and just blows your mind. Like, he's going to run fast. He's going to throw it far. He's accurate.
6'1", 205.
He's going to have to put on some weight. He's going to have to be a 215-pound guy. He's going to have to be durable because when you run that much in the NFL, and I don't care if you're Josh Allen size or Jaron Hall's size, you're going to get popped.
Yep.
You're going to get popped.
Do
The
you
guy.
even lift?
Cardinals will take Cam Rising. Then Murray can go play Santa's elf at the Glendale Mall. Boy, one of the things we got to talk about in 5 minutes on Football at 50, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Should the Arizona Cardinals bench Kyler Murray? There is a very clear answer to that question. Boyd Lake says BYU is going to play all the young guys in red shirts. Yeah, I hope so. What's up, Mike Maples? Good to see you. Matt Ritson says BYU next weekend versus Stanford. If for 8 p.m., be lucky we have 10,000 fans. Stanford Athletics has given away tickets free. I'm telling you that Stanford is a terrible football program right now.
Yeah.
Even when they are national championship good, they have like 6 fans in the stands. I mean, it's such a small university, and I don't think people understand. You go to the farm, which is Stanford. You go to the farm, and it's just a small student body. There's not a lot of people there.
Yeah.
You know, Boyd Lake says, guys.
Hey, guys.
NFL or similar music in 10 minutes.
Hey, guys.
Okay. Kurt says, hey, guys, don't bring up the fact that the Eagles got plucked last night. It'll make Tanner too salty, and he'll start harping on RSL. That's probably true.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
That's probably true. Jeff Johnson, good morning to you, Geoff. He says, Kalani is real, though, in those interviews. He'll always tell exactly what they did wrong. Yeah, but at some point, we got to stop talking about what they did wrong and start doing things right.
Yeah.
At some point. And that's what's not happening. And again, I'm just asking, when is the BYU football program going to start training specifically by position and start training to be a great defensive lineman, which is not the same training as a corner? When are we going to get that at BYU? Because the injury stuff is not a coincidence anymore. It's systematic.
Yeah.
That's the issue. It is systematic. And you've got to wear that if you're Kalani Sitake. And I like that he's honest, but I think he may be too nice. That's the thing that I worry about most. He may just be too nice. Boyd Lake says, Jared is about the same size as Danger Russ Wilson. Let's not say that out loud. Let's not say that out loud. Because I still maintain that he is, not good. Jaron Eccles, good morning to you, with the Dolphins logo now.
Mm-hmm.
Jaron. What's your opinion on the end of the Washington-Philly game last night? That was embarrassing. Jake is fired up about that.
Yeah,
he's gonna
3 minutes.
He's going to want to vent on that.
Yeah,
at
3
Football
minutes.
At 50.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they were thinking. Honestly, I don't know. The Night Guy says, as a huge throbbing Cardinal fan.
I'm sorry. Did you just say the word throbbing?
You know, Night Guy, you've listened to the show for a long time. You know this is a family show.
Yeah, PG-13.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
Really? Throbbing.
Like, come on, dude.
Yes.
Giggity says, throbbing Cardinal fan, Night Guy? Really? Exactly. Number 17, San Diego State at Stanford tonight in men's basketball. Okay, well, you give us a full game recap tomorrow, okay?
Hey, guys.
Jesse Harsh says, hey, if you guys ever need music copyright lawyer, call me in 2 years when I pass the bar. Jesse, we're with you on that.
Me?
Jaron Eccles says, I've been waiting all night for Football at 50 Bop at 6:50. Exactly right.
Right.
You know. Mike Maples, Tanner is probably still using the soaker to forget last night. I mean, smoker. See,
Again, I'm going to say this every time. I didn't start the soaker comments. I told Tanner in a public setting on Twitter with my unverified account, so you don't know if it's me, apparently, that, I didn't start the soaking stuff. So,
look in the camera and apologize to
I'm
him.
not apologizing to anybody. I'm not doing it. And I didn't start the soaking stuff, and, that's not... The comment section is the comment section on this show, As the saying goes, it is what it is, right? Like, I don't know what you want me to say to that.
I'm telling you right now, Jake, your attitude is not good. And when you start a trend like soaking on this show, as You did? I think you just need to wear that.
That's right, T.
Actually, Tanner started it. The Nye guy said Tanner was so upset that he sipped a coffee and got wild. Oh, wow. Come on now.
That's cold-blooded, bro.
Mike Maples says, need that Papa Murphy's comfort food.
That's right.
I got to tell you, if you're doing a football day, you're gonna start with a Papa Murphy's pizza or 7, and you're gonna end with a brisket or wings.
Yeah,
it is truly a great way to live your life.
It is.
I mean, I am a big believer in that. Let's see. I sent y'all a link on Twitter for some royalty-free drops. I hope you find a solution for the NFL segment. Boyd Lake hates your NFL music.
Why do you hate the music, man? It's not bad.
Yeah.
So you don't like it either?
I didn't say that. I vibe to football at 50-10 in the hour every hour.
Like, come on, dude. This is good music.
Vibe with me, Boyd. Let's go.
Yeah, come on,
Boyd. He's an Astro fan.
Wow. Wow.
What?
I didn't know we allowed Astro fans on this show. Casual.
Football 50.
Wait, let's start this again because okay. Go ahead.
Come on, man. Vibe with me.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Football 50-10 of the hour every hour on the Monty Show. We bring you the biggest stories in college and professional football. Presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Yes, Mike Maples, we need that comfort food.
Yes.
Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. Papa Murphy's Pizza, Jake.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this straight away.
Yeah.
How did the Eagles lose that game?
It's incredibly embarrassing, and I'm not. All jokes aside, that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen out of an undefeated team. You turn the football over, you look completely unprepared. Like I don't even like. We got that comment a couple minutes ago about what happened at the end of the game. Like you were being stupid. Like you shouldn't have hit him. I agree. You needed to touch him to officially down him, but to hit him was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And so to me, I literally am watching this game, and I'm like, dude, like this is embarrassing. This should make you guys appreciate the undefeated Tom Brady season. This should make you appreciate the great NFL quarterbacks and the great NFL teams, and it should make you understand why the Eagles are such a casual organization. Like this organization should be 10, 12, 14-0 this year, right? Like you have the team, you've got the quarterback, everything's great, but you show up unprepared. And that's what I felt like last night. The Washington Commanders possessed the football. They ran the football. Taylor Heineke is average as hell, and he had his way. Like, I don't know how you explain that. And so that's why I say I'm not an Eagles believer, but that said, you're still 8-1. Like, you're still one-loss team. So
whatever that last play was or supposed to be, I don't know. That was, and the Eagles are still really good.
Dude, I don't want to hear, well, they missed the face mask call, and they missed that call.
Oh, they did miss it. Come on.
They missed it. That's not why you lost. You lost because you fumbled the football. You lost because you couldn't move the football. Like, come on, man.
By the way, Boyd Lake says, it's just not corporate NFL. It's for swaying, not for getting the latest NFL news.
Dude, this is an NFL network, Boyd. Come on. Come on now.
It's for swaying. I don't know. I am a big believer that the Eagles gave that game away last night, and let's talk about giving quarterbacks away as the Arizona Cardinals are wanting to do. No, you do not bench Kyler Murray. There's no scenario, there's no conversation that ends with the words, yes, we're going to bench Kyler Murray. Well, unless you are the Arizona Cardinals. Colt McCoy's a great backup quarterback. He's not a number one. And I agree, Kyler Murray is the problem in Arizona. I do not think it's Cliffy the sex machine. I don't. I think Cliffy's a fine NFL head coach. When he has a quarterback who can, execute, who will run the play that's called. How many times this year have we watched Kyler Murray shake his head and not run the play that was called? But what recourse does Cliff Kingsbury have? Oh, that's right. Little Kyler got injured, and now Colt McCoy came in, ran the plays that were called, and they look like a completely different offense. all of that to say, no, you're not going to bench Kyler Murray.
Yeah, no, I think you can't bench him. You're paying him, like, you committed to him, you made that bet, and it's time to lay in it. And I think that, this organization is going to burn through head coaches. Like, that's how they're going to operate, and it's completely ass backwards. You should not have paid him. You should have gone and found someone else, but you did, and now you're here. So
I don't know how you fix Arizona, because you've got to. This is going back to now. This is why I said not to extend Kyler Murray. That contract extension they gave him was a mistake, and this is what sports teams do. Think of your favorite team. How many times have they made a mistake, and then to compound that,
Jazz.
they go and make another mistake, right? Like, hey, mistake after mistake, and then you wind up where the Jazz were is a really good example, and now you got a clean house. How many NFL teams have repeatedly, the Chicago Bears, made mistakes at quarterback, and so you don't routinely win? Because in this league, until you get Josh Rosen out and you get verticality out now,
Jared Goff,
and you get Jared Goff out of LA, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. And until they get the quarterback right in Arizona, which they have not shown a track record of doing, they're not going to compete or win a Super Bowl. Yeah. Period. End of story. Look at what's going on with the LA Rams. Matt Stafford is now hurt, and they're terrible, with all due respect to now the injured John Wofford. You're aft, dude.
Yeah.
You go across this league. Why are the Dallas Cowboys average? Because Dak Prescott is average. Why are the Philadelphia Eagles so good? Because Jalen Hurts had looked really solid, right? They went and got really good wide receivers. Their defense is solid. They make good personnel decisions. Why are the Washington Commanders a disaster? Well, because, in my opinion, their owner's a misogynist and a racist. But that's not really the conversation today.
Right.
The point is, if I look at the Green Bay Packers, why haven't they won more Super Bowls? Because Aaron Rodgers is not generationally good. Why did Tampa win a Super Bowl 2 years ago? Because Tom Brady's that dude. Get the quarterback right and you will win. Don't get the quarterback right and you'll be the Chicago Bears. It's that simple. Speaking of the hoodie and winning Super Bowls, how about our guy Belly? Nobody calls him that. Bill Belichick, the hoodie, wants coaches' challenges under 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I want $1 million.
Wow.
Like, come on, guy. Like, the rule is the rule. What he should be complaining about is being able to review a face mask, being able to review, certain plays that are unreviewable under the current guidelines right now. Like, I do think this conversation about reviewing everything in the NFL under 2 minutes needs to be revised. I don't think you need coaches challenge. I think you need to review everything under 2 minutes. Don't be stupid. If there's a play that's questionable, review it. Like, it's that simple.
I'm swaying over here.
Yeah, is swaying the same thing as swinging, or is that two different things? I'm trying to understand.
Boyd Lake says swaying. I can almost smell the reefer.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric and Raleigh says, speaking of mistakes, the 49ers absolutely bailed out when Trey Lance got hurt, so Garoppolo could make it back on the field. Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right.
By the way, that's right. They're winning with them. That's
Garoppolo,
right.
They're an average team. Cue the old Denny Green drop. Can't do it. That's actually Mike Singletary. Not Denny Green is we are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
They are. We're terrible.
Yeah.
Mike Singletary. Can't do it.
Yeah.
It's a great drop. Jake used to play drops in the show. He doesn't anymore.
Right.
Wait. I already read that one. The Nye guy says, Tanner, you're a solid dude. Mad respect. Wow, Tanner's
Jesus.
in the comments now. Okay,
Jesus.
we're derailed.
What happened?
We're derailed.
What did he say? What did he say?
I don't know what he said.
He's right above where you are. What did he say?
Tanner said, LOL already did Kurt Myers. What did Kurt Myers say? Tanner didn't read the comments. No. Oh, God. Giggity says, little Kyler is that spoiled kid who gets everything he wants. The organization created this monster. Yes, they did. Boyd Lake says, if I'm the Cards, I keep baby-headed Kyler on the short leash. He's becoming a liability, is already a liability.
Yep.
I mean, he is, Fat Jesus says, worst thing for a Cardinals was having Kyler play offensive coordinator in the preseason. It reinforced his belief that he knows more than the coach. Amen to that, dude. Amen to that. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Football 50, 10 of the hour, every hour, presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza.
Papa Murphy's presents How to Change the Way You Pizza. Step 1, carefully knead dough. Step 2, artfully spread sauce. Step 3, add fresh mozzarella and assemble toppings. Step 4, realize we already did all that for you. So all you have to do is bake it. For a limited time only, get the Hog Heaven Pizza with Canadian bacon, ground sausage, and crispy bacon. Papa Murphy's, change the way you pizza.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. That Hog Heaven pizza looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. What are you laughing about on Twitter?
Heineke on the plane home. Maybe I'm late on this.
No, you're not.
Wore a bunch of chains like Kirk Cousins did.
Yeah, but that's not that story. Do you understand? Did you see where they were sitting?
No, I didn't.
The Washington Commanders flew home in coach. Heineke, their quarterback, was wearing gold chains. But did you see what was around them in coach? Big buckets of like Busch Light beer in garbage cans full of ice. What the? Like, I understand it's the Washington Commanders, but can you not get your guys a first-class charter?
Because it's garbage.
Are you kidding me right now? And can we not have in-flight service so that everybody gets the beer they want?
That's not what we're about.
Can we, first of all, with all due respect, can we not get my guy a Modelo? Is he drinking Busch Light?
You see, I'm a guy of simple taste.
What are we doing?
Yeah, maybe what is PBR next? Is that where we're heading next, or what's the deal here?
The Washington Commanders beat the Philadelphia Eagles last night on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Heineke played his ass off.
Yeah.
So he did the Kirk Cousins, and he put on everybody's chains, and it was funny until you recognize that he's sitting in coach drinking out of a garbage can full of Busch Light beer. Like, what are we doing?
Come on, guy.
By the way,
yeah.
They say that a sale of the Washington Commanders is imminent.
Yeah.
That Daniel Snyder recognizes now his only way out of federal prison is probably to sell the team.
Yes.
Probably to sell the team.
Yeah.
And that's probably what he's going to do. It's probably what he's going to do. There's a lot of people making jokes about that Kyler can't have a longer leash because of how short he is. M. Morris, good morning, too. He says, Jimmy G and play calling hiding how bad San Francisco's O-line is. And it's bad. It is really bad. Really, really bad. The Nye guy says, Kyler is great at taking defeat out of the jaws of victory. He is. I have never seen a quarterback go to the ground as easy as verticality does.
Well, the issue is the ground is much closer for him. So, the path to the ground is...
That's a short joke. He's
right.
He's short, so we have to have him shorter to the.
I don't even. Why did they put this picture up? I mean, there's no one there. I don't understand what we're
to the ground.
What we're looking at. There's nobody there.
They see he's short, so even the picture of him as a woman. I still maintain. My God.
My
God.
Yes.
The Monty Show.
What now? Let me tell you what now.
The Monty Show is presented by the Utah Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. If you have been in a wreck, my friends, it's absolutely, unequivocally, without question, the right decision. Get yourself a lawyer because your insurance company has thousands of lawyers. Why don't you?
If you've been injured in a car accident, even if it wasn't your fault, you still have to deal with the consequences, like overdue medical bills, car repairs, and worse, insurance companies that try their hardest not to pay their fair share. No need to worry, though. The Advocates are here to help.
The Advocates are absolutely here to help. Get online. You can chat with them online right now at UtahAdvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, where you don't pay any consultation fees, you don't pay any retainers, you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at UtahAdvocates.com. Jake, the Knicks are in town tonight. Is this what cures the ails of the Utah Jazz?
Yeah, I think that the Jazz are going to do well against this team. I think that, you're rested. The Knicks are obviously right out of the gate not a great team. But I think, I would really expect the Jazz to get back to what had brought them success, before this 2-game losing streak, which would be moving the ball, moving the ball through that process of moving the ball, getting the defense to move side to side, left to right, because when you do that, that's going to open up a lot of opportunities for you. And I think that that I would expect this team to stay committed to the system throughout the game. That's tonight what I'd be looking for if I'm a Utah Jazz fan. I want to see them consistently moving the ball and being committed to that. I'm not saying there needs to be an edict on this team that, hey, like everyone's got to touch the ball or we got to burn 10 seconds every possession before we try to score or anything like that. What I think the edict needs to be is, hey, we got to stay committed to getting into our offense early and then not being scared to continue to make that extra pass until we get that quality look, because that is what I think really the issue was. Like, if you go back and watch the games on YouTube and you look at the tape and you see what they did, the willingness to make that extra pass and to keep probing the defense, keep searching, and
probing
keep
the
hunting.
defense.
Like you need to do that against these teams on certain possessions.
Isn't probing the same word as throbbing? I would agree with that. I think you need to probe the defense. I think one of the other questions that's going to start coming up more and more is the lineup and what tweaks does Will Hardy need to make with this lineup. And one of the more interesting ones in my mind, especially against a team that's going to be without Mitchell Robinson tonight, is do you start Walker Kessler at center? I think it's an interesting conversation. I think Walker's earned more minutes. I think we're seeing that consistently he's on the floor because he's a more mature guy. But I think he has absolutely earned the right to get a start. And I think his defense alone gives you that. Whatever you get from a guy like Walker Kessler offensively, I think is a gift. I think Kelly Olynk off the bench is your big. I don't think there's any problem with that. I think he gives you some poise, if you will, off the bench. So I can see it both ways. But, Jake, I think there's a lot of merit in starting Walker Kessler.
Yeah, and I think that with where you're at as an organization, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like, again, you're in that phase where you want to develop, you know, guys like Walker Kessler. You want to see, you know, just how far you can take it with them, because I do love Walker Kessler's defensive tenacity. He may not be, you know, this elite defender yet, but the effort is there. And I think that is what has defined this team so far, is effort. So if the effort is going to continue to be there, which there's no reason to believe it wouldn't be, then yeah, like, I think Walker Kessler should get an opportunity to start at some point. I don't know if that's tonight. I don't know if that's 3 weeks from tomorrow. Like, right. At some point, though, you got to throw him in there and see what he can do as a starter. So to me, I think if you start him, you're going to get a guy who obviously is just going to run the floor really well. I think he's a guy that could really use the defensive reps in ISO situations.
Well, that's for sure.
You know, so like, again, I think expecting, like, if you're someone who's sitting there saying, hey, he struggled against Joel. Okay, well, everyone struggles against Joel.
Correct.
Right? Like, but I'd love to see him against Julius. I'd love to see him against, you know, that hybrid 3-4 guy. What can you do for me in those situations, right? Because there's going to be a lot of times where he's going to get put into those matchups. And so as a defense, you have to see, how does your team react? That's where this team is at. Those are the things they're exploring right now.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the more interesting conversations is, how do you balance development of your youth versus, hey, let's keep winning games? Because I don't think there's any doubt that the Jazz want to win as many games as they can. And I think this is where sending Agbaji to the G League, to the Stars, I think is absolutely the right move. It's what we talked about with Jared Butler last year and the hesitancy to play him at the NBA level. Okay, well then send him down. Send Adesabuki down. Like, and I understand that you have to have minimums. I totally understand that. You have to do, though, what is best for this roster in the next 3 years, because that's the time frame you're working in. You're not playing for a championship this year. All these wins are cool, but we're looking at next year and the year after that and making sure that Walker Kessler is a guy that grows and develops into a contributor, and making sure that a guy like Agbaji, or making sure that, you know, a guy like Colin Sexton, you know, is getting the minutes he needs the right way. So, hey, he does grow that knee and grow that confidence and continue to be a contributor. Because when you wind up inevitably making moves, and I don't know, you ship out a guy like a Malik Beasley, you have to have somebody ready to slide into that spot.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this roster evolves as the season goes on. But I don't think there's any doubt that Walker Kessler is a guy that is, it's not if. When does he begin getting starts?
Facts.
Because I think he's shown you enough that you want to see more.
Come on, let's go, Schlep Rock.
From Walker. I think you absolutely want to see more from Walker Kessler.
Yeah,
no doubt about
100%.
it.
And I think that, you know, I think that what's really interesting is you watch, like, what Laurie is able to do at 7 feet tall. Right, you watch his ability to shoot the basketball, his ability to get to the basket, his ability to defend. Yep. Walker Kessler's never going to be that athletic, but I think if you can get small spurts of, an elbow jumper, that'd be great. I'd love to see dude take like 5 or 6 of those a game, even if he misses them. I think that's the kind of, like when we talk about finding that balance of developing guys but also winning games, like find a couple of possessions where you're intentionally trying to get Walker Kessler an elbow jumper, or maybe if you view him more as a block player, get him that hook shot, get him that opportunity. That's what I think you have to do. Like, I think Walker Kessler's ceiling is extremely high because he can really run the floor. He's not one of those big plotting guys. He's much more of a athletic for his size, moves really well guy. So if you can get him running and get him just more reps, I don't know why that would be a bad thing.
Well, and I also think you have to look at when you talk about the Jazz. By the way, Jazz and Knicks tonight, 7 o'clock. The Jazz are a 4-point favorite in that game. The number's 230. So the boys in Vegas expect a pretty high-scoring game. But I think one of the real questions on this roster is, what is your best big rotation? And because I don't think there's any doubt that your 4 is Vando. There's just no doubt about that. And I think one of the questions you have to ask is, can you play Rudy Gay and Jared Vanderbilt together? Yes, you can. Can you play Walker Kessler and Kelly Olynk together? You probably can if Olynk is on the outside, right? It's not as smooth, though. Can you play Vando and Gay together? You can't. Can you play Vando and Kessler together?
That's the one you want.
Well, I don't know if you can play those guys together. I don't think that Jared Vanderbilt shoots the 3 well enough to have Walker be a pure 5 and have Vando be a pure 4. I don't think that right now that Vando shoots the ball well enough to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that may be true. But I also think the positive side of that is the length you have on the floor. Like, if you're playing a team that's rolling out a bunch of bigs or, like, a bunch of size, look at Brooklyn. Kevin Durant and Nick Claxton on the floor together, along with Ben Simmons. That's a lot of length on the floor that you're trying to defend. And so when I look at that, yeah, you're right. Vanderbilt doesn't shoot the 3 at a really high rate, and neither does Kessler for obvious reasons. But when I look at defensively, if you can have a lot of rebounding and you can outlet to JC, Conley, and Beasley, that's a really interesting lineup to me. Those 3 together probably isn't ideal, but I think you're to your point, you're looking for combinations here. So if I know that defensively I'm going to be fine, and then I can create some looks for Beasley out of the corner, then maybe that's a unit I can run out there for 5 minutes, But
look at the Knicks tonight. Toppin, Hartenstein, and Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
Though that's their front court. I mean, obviously without Mitchell Robinson playing, I mean, that's their front court. So the question is, what is your front court rotation if you're the Jazz tonight? I would love to see Vando and Kessler play together, but I don't know how you do that. Is Toppin a guy that you want Walker Kessler exposed to?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
That's an interesting matchup.
I think what you want to do is you want to challenge Walker Kessler a little bit defensively. Like, you want to see, okay, I know that you're more than willing to bang with a guy. I know that you're more than willing to go up and try to block a shot. He's done that repeatedly this season. But what can you do against it? Because, like, Obi Toppin's strength is running the floor and getting out in transition.
And Obi Toppin's strength is he can shoot the 3 a little bit, and he loves that corner 3 into a dunk.
Yeah.
So can you guard Toppin on the perimeter? Let's find out. Like, I love Jared Vanderbilt and Julius Randle. Yeah. I have that, like, Hartenstein's an interesting guy. Kelly Olynyk can handle Hartenstein. I think the Vando matchup on a nightly basis is one of the more interesting storylines on this team.
Yes.
Because I actually think that it goes a long way. When you look at Jared Vanderbilt's skill set, it goes a long way to setting the tone for a game. Because I think Jared Vanderbilt, when it's all said and done, he's going to be a guy who can lock down a power forward. He's not there yet. He's not that guy yet. His top end will be that. And I think guys like Julius Randle, he has that skill set of a prototypical power forward now. You have to, at the 4 spot, you have to be able to shoot the 3. There's just no question about that. Yeah. Julius can do that. Play with his back to the basket, rebounds, runs the floor. Like, these are matchups. It's as maligned as Julius Randle has been. I think he's having a better year for the Knicks, and I think this is one of those matchups where you can look at Vando and see, hey, what is this guy really capable of?
Facts.
Because Julius Randle, for anything you want to say about him, he is not an easy matchup,
mm-hmm.
right? Has he been down for the Knicks? He's been at the bottom for the Knicks at times. But Julius Randle is a guy that can play. And so it'll be interesting to see how those matchups work. But again, I mean, for current day incarnation of this team, I want to see Mike Conley come out and be refreshed tonight. I want to see Mike look really good. I want to see Jordan Clarkson be much more of a team player because it really bothers me. I'm kind of stuck on that Philly game a little bit. What bothers me so much about the Philly game is that I feel like you had a chance to win that game on multiple trips late and you just didn't make the play that had to be made.
Yeah.
There's no way that Colin Sexton should be getting his shot blocked at the rim by Joel Embiid there. You got to kick that ball out. You have to. There's a guy wide open in the corner.
Yeah.
So I want to see this Jazz team tonight get back to what's been good about this Jazz team. I want to see him move the ball. I want to see him shoot 43s at a minimum.
Yeah.
I want to see him with 30 assists at a minimum. Like, I want to see those numbers let's pump those numbers up, right?
Yeah.
Those are rookie numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You've got to have more assists. You've got to have more three-point attempts. And I don't care if you go 2 for 55. I don't care. I'd rather have you shoot an enormous amount of threes than get blocked at the rim.
Pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
This is not an interior team necessarily. This Jazz team is an opportunistic team.
Yeah.
Where you move the ball around the perimeter, look for a three, and hey, when a guy gets over aggressive, then we're going to drive and either finish or kick.
And he will every single time.
I didn't see that in Washington or Philly.
Yeah, well, you went away from it. That's the facts of the case. Like you Sexton, I would argue Conley, Clarkson, like the guards just went away from the system, and that's why you get blocked. That's what happens.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get some of your comments in here on the Utah Jazz. Oh boy,
bots.
We got some of the bots in the now. To their credit, it is nice that we are seeing. By the way, I don't know how many people have noticed this. In the last week to 10 days, we have seen that YouTube has been far more aggressive in hiding bots.
Nice.
And it's something I like to see. I'm actually stoked about it.
By the way, got to get to 9,000 subs by the end of the year.
Yeah. Oh my God. How have we forgotten about this?
Yeah.
How have we? I'm a terrible person.
And we got to talk about where we're going to be Saturday.
Big update. That's exactly what I was going to talk about. We are going to be at Super Chicks in Ogden this Saturday. So we talk a lot of food on this show. I think you guys know that.
Yeah.
And I also think you know that we're huge fans of Super Chicks. We talk about the fact that their ranch dressing is
incredible,
unbelievably addictive. I'm a huge fan of the deluxe salt fries, their ranch dressing on everything.
The Bacavo chicken sandwich, bro.
Nobody likes the Bacavo.
Dude, it's bacon and ranch and avocado.
Listen, Jake, if you are not going to get the deluxe, I don't know where your life is. The only thing that is on that menu, the only thing that's better than the deluxe is the strips. And listen.
Yeah, big strips guy, huh?
I'm a huge strips guy. I am a huge chicken finger guy, right?
You see, I'm a guy of simple taste.
And I have to tell you, you know this as well. We have been to the other chicken joints, and we have told you.
We're not going to name them. I mean, come on.
Super Chicks is where it's at.
Come on.
We've told you that. We're going to be at their grand opening this Saturday in Ogden.
Yes.
You come out, and you're going to get free food.
Yes.
Come and see us, because we're also going to register you to go to the Jazz game with us against Cleveland. If you come to the Super Chicks in Ogden, we're going to have an enter to win box, and you are going to be able to enter to win a pair of tickets. You and plus one will meet us at the Maverick Center. We'll get in a black car.
Yeah, right.
We'll get in a black car.
Yep.
Relax.
Sorry.
We'll get in a black car. We'll cruise over to Vivint Smart Home Arena, which is now just Vivint Arena. We're going to buy you a custom Jazz jersey, and we're going to watch Donnie and the Cavs take on the Utah Jazz.
Donnie.
We're going to give you tickets plus one. We're going to buy you a jersey, and all you have to do is come to Super Chicks this Saturday.
Yep.
It's going to be amazing.
Now, okay, here's the address, because we have gotten messages before. Well, what's the address, bro? You didn't say the address. Here's the exact address. Write it down. Like, do what you need to do, okay? It is 1140 West Riverdale Road in Riverdale. Okay, I even got the zip code for you. 84405. Be there or be square on Saturday.
We're working on the details.
Folks, that's what it is.
We're working on the details, but we are going to do a 2-hour show live on Saturday to get you ready for the Utes and the Oregon Ducks.
Yes.
And we're going to do a football show. You guys need to come out. You need to get your free Super Chicks.
Let's go.
Trust me when I tell you the ranch is amazing. And by the way, we never have even mentioned their Oreo shake.
Bomb. Wait, Oreo shake. Hold on. Whoa. Peanut butter cup shake is superior.
See, you do things like this, and it makes me question who you are
Stop
as a man.
disrespecting me, bro.
What do you mean?
It just stop.
Dude, peanut butter cups.
No. No.
Come on.
No.
You're casual.
No, I'm not a casual.
You are.
No, I'm not.
You're being a casual right now.
Okay. It's fine.
Donnie, you're out of your element.
It's fine. Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road on Saturday. We will continue to give you details this week, but again, we really want to get back to you guys. So we decided yesterday that when we get to 9,000 subs, if we do that by January 1st, we are going to take you +1 to the Jazz Cavs game and give you and buy you a custom jersey. We're going to do that.
Yep.
You're going to have a jersey of your choice. We'll walk into the team store. We'll buy it for you.
You can't buy yellow, but any other jersey, right?
Anyway, you can have a jersey of your choice as long as it's not the white one. You can have a jersey of your choice
right now.
Thank you, Raptor88. Thank you. He says
come
Oreo
on.
all day
Come
long.
on.
Wow, Dad. Wow.
Come on. Well, Keith Carl makes an interesting point. Peanut butter Oreo shake. Okay.
I mean,
Giggity says, how does Mr. Chicken Burrito expect us to take his food advice seriously?
Dude, Giggity, come on, bro.
See, that's what I'm
How
saying.
do you take this guy serious? You really believe that all I eat is chicken burritos?
Yes.
Are you kidding me right
Hey,
now?
by the way, we're at Mastro's Ocean Club, right? We
Don't
are at
even
Mastro's
start,
Ocean Club.
dude.
I'm like, okay, hey, you know what? Give me the strip medium. Give me 4, grilled shrimp on top. A little bit of garlic butter on those shrimp. That'd be great, right?
Right.
Jake, what do you want? Hey, man, do you guys do chicken burritos?
I didn't say chicken burrito. I said steak burrito. Big difference.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Big difference.
Do you guys do chicken burritos? And then to top it off, they're like, no, sir, we don't. But we do strip steak. He's like, okay, I'll have what he's having. Hey, man, can I have some ranch on the side?
This is fucking America.
It is America. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. I made that up right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I had a strip medium too.
But you are a chicken burrito guy. If we go to
admit, like, all jokes aside, I've gone away from chicken burritos. I'm a breakfast burrito connoisseur. Like,
I would agree with that. You have stepped up your breakfast burrito game.
I
would agree with that.
can't tell you, honest to God, I can't tell you the last time I actually had a chicken burrito. I've had breakfast burritos 100%. Like, I'm about it. I'll own it.
Oh, God. Here we go. Now, I'm just going to skip that comment. Tanner says...
Teddy Wayman is the best.
Teddy Wayman, Mr. Beard Guy, says peanut butter cup for the win. Tanner says, if it's in the morning, I would totally go. But if it's in the afternoon, sadly, there's no way I can go. I have to work in the afternoon. Tanner, you have an excuse for every remote we've done. You're like, hey, man, I can't do it. It's a vernal equinox. Oh, you guys are going to be there next...
the fucking vernal equinox.
You guys are going to be there next Saturday? Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Oh, wait, no, that's... I got to wash my hair, bro. I can't, the Pantene. I got a fresh shipment of Pantene. So, I can't do it. And,
I don't know. I think what did we say? I mean, we haven't worked out an exact time. It's not going to be afternoon. It's going to be, I think we were thinking
midday. 10 to noon.
Yeah, I think we were thinking 10 to noon.
We were thinking 10 to noon.
I mean, we have to confirm, right? Like, that's not, in concrete yet, but I think 10 to noon is probably what it's going to be.
Let's see. Tanner says, sorry, Jake, I'm going to go with the Oreo shake, but he's like, I'm confused. What's your problem with chicken burritos? Nothing. Chicken burritos are amazing. Except when you go to Burger King and you're like, hey, bro, you guys got chicken burritos here?
So you have no frame of reference here, Donnie.
We're at Arby's. Hey, bro, do you guys have chicken burritos? No, we don't. Hey, are you sure? Can you check the kids menu?
I mean, you said you had the meats. You don't have chicken?
What do you mean you don't have chicken? You want to know
Is that a real question?
Chicken burritos and stuff. Like, he'll go to JCW's and be like, hey, bro, can you throw me together a chicken burrito? Like, no matter where we go. If we go to Taco Surf, the best Mexican fast casual in the world.
But this is
Taco,
different.
Stop
That's
talking.
different.
Stop. If we go to Taco, if we go to Taco Surf
dude.
in SoCal, And they have 1,000 things on their menu. He'll be like, "Oh, hey, bro, can I get a chicken burrito?"
No, it's called a pipeline.
Oh, excuse me. What kind of meat you want in that? Chicken. Hey, if we go to Red Iguana, best Mexican restaurant in the country, in my opinion.
Seriously.
We go to Red Iguana. Hey, bro, can I get a chicken burrito?
No, okay, be honest. I usually get tacos Don Ramon.
That's a lie. Hey, bro, can I get a chicken burritos, tacos Don Ramon? Let's do it Don Ramon style in that chicken burrito. Hey,
so who's coming to Super Chick Saturday?
Do you want chips and salsa? Yeah, on a chicken burrito, please.
If you guys ever want to kick it, we'll flow.
Set the chicken burrito on top of the chips and salsa, bro.
Right.
Don Ramon style.
Right, Don Ramon.
Yeah, so by the way, we're going to be at Super Chicks in Ogden.
Yeah.
Riverdale Road in Ogden for their grand opening Saturday. They're going to give away, I think the first 100 people through the door get free food.
Yeah, they get free food. Yep.
Trust me when I say the Bravocado is actually not bad. I joke.
Yeah.
I get the same thing every time I go to Super Chicks just because I'm that creature of habit. When they have their chicken parm sandwich, which they need to bring back.
Yeah.
When they have the chicken parm sandwich, there's no other choice.
Okay, see, now you have people in the comments section like Tanner asking if I really go to Burger King and get a chicken burrito.
You do.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
Dude.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You do,
dude,
too.
I get a double cheeseburger and fries. It's Burger King.
El Coyote is the best Mexican restaurant, in my opinion. Well, Donnie, please.
Yeah.
Have you been to Red Iguana?
Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
Jake, is that true? You go to Burger King
Come
and you
on,
ask
dude.
for a chicken burrito?
There are limits here. I don't actually do that. Come on.
Carlin Lefevre says Nashville Hot Sando is where it's at.
Are people Myron?
I mean, it could be.
But seriously, come out to Super Chick Saturday, man. Like, we need you guys to come out, get entered to win these tickets.
Jeff Johnson says, I ain't driving from Spanish Fork to Ogden, but I love you guys anyway.
Geoff, come on.
Yeah, seriously. Nye Guy says, breakfast burritos at Even Stevens is fire.
Okay.
Even Stevens is good. I would agree with that. Let's see. The Pantene lady was hot, San Diego State Aztec says. See, I agree with that.
I want it.
The Pantene lady's hot,
Yeah.
you know. Dustin Mercer says, Monty vibing to football at 50 music is the best part. Well, you know, it is what I do. Okay. You're welcome. Baja Cantina in Park City. Get the Claim Jumper
really
Burrito.
good.
Baja Cantina is
Very good, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I could take the front runner from Orem to Ogden, and then one of you guys could pick me up from the front runner station and then take me back when I have to leave. What am I, your chauffeur? And by the way, he's actually going to want free food too. Stop. He says, yes, I'm a freeloader. Exactly. Geoff says, please stop. Jeff, come on, man.
Please stop what?
Stop what?
Yeah, what are you referencing?
I think he's referencing the Spanish Fork to Ogden journey.
Oh.
Get a helicopter, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Monty Copter 9.
Yes. So in all seriousness, we will be at Super Chicks in Ogden, Riverdale Road, Saturday. I believe it's going to be 10 to noon, but we're going to have to figure that out. We're doing a 2-hour football show for their grand opening. And my friends, and I think we have really produced on this show. We tell you about Super Chicks all the time.
Yeah.
I tell you about their ranch dressing all the time. I tell you about their deluxe chicken sandwich all the time.
And by the way, do we not say all the time we only partner with local entrepreneurs, right?
And that's exactly what this is.
Taylor and the guys at this Super Chicks, they'll be opening more Super Chicks, and they are local. I don't know. I think he's in Ogden, like as far as where he lives. Like he's a northern guy. So if you're a northern listener,
for everybody who always says we never do remotes north of
says,
Provo,
you guys never do remotes north of Provo.
Why don't you come to Davis? Okay.
Hey, cool.
We're going to Ogden. Let's do this thing. Saturday, we'll have exact details for you on the show the next couple of days. But I believe we're going to be 10 to noon on Saturday. We'll get you ready for Utah and Oregon. Of course, BYU and Utah-Dixie State Tech. We will have you set up for them as well. But just a huge, huge weekend of football. Come hang out with us. Get your free Super Chicks. Be one of the first 100 people through the door. And we'll have an Enter to Win box where you can win a pair of tickets to go to the Jazz game with us January 10th against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Donnie will include you +1 and a jersey for you when we get to the arena. So it is all good in the hood at Super Chicks. Saturday in Ogden on Riverdale Road. Couple more comments before we get back. Let's see. BB says Red Iguana at Temple. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's Red Iguana 1 is where it's at.
Bomb.
I mean, that's where it's at. The Nye Guy says the music is what Kyler listens to while playing Call of Duty. You know. Let's see. Travis Bird says, I can't come Saturday. I'm hosting a thong-winning hottie party. I'll take a rain check. Okay. Jeff says, please stop Monty dancing.
So he doesn't like your dancing.
It's the only move I got, man. I could do some like wave action too, but you know, it's fine. Hey man, I am just here for the people. I am just here for the people. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
yeah.
Speaking of here for the people, let's ask you a very serious question.
Yeah.
At 7:30 on the Monty Show, what do you make of this Kyrie Irving situation? Because now Jaylen Brown is on the record talking about Kyrie Irving, and this is one of those things where, you know what? I don't know what to do with this Kyrie Irving thing. Honest to God, I don't. I think the punishment and what he has to do to, quote, work his way back is ridiculous. I think you're holding him to some unbelievable standard that's never been applied to anybody. Not only did you take his money, not only did you suspend him indefinitely, you've asked him to meet with a bunch of civic organizations. You've asked him to apologize multiple times. He's had to meet with the league, the owners, the players, the Anti-Defamation League, Jewish community leaders. He's had to pay a fine of $500,000 on top of the salary he's losing. Like, this is unprecedented level of suspension.
Yeah.
That's a totally different conversation, though, versus what's justified and what's not. Because I think in our society, bigotry has become far too easy to get away with. I think it's become far too commonplace. And like I look at this Dave Chappelle appearance on Saturday Night Live over the weekend. I watched it and thought it was a fantastic monologue. Mm-hmm. Now everybody's saying that he's a bigot and he's an anti-Semite. And the thing I don't understand is, when did we lose our ability to do two things? Have a serious conversation and laugh. When did we lose our ability to do that? Because you can't joke anymore and you can't have real, honest, open conversations about things that impact your life. We don't talk about things like, you know, hey, where are we? You know, what are we doing about the proliferation of bigotry in our society? What are we doing about mental health? You know, and how are we going to bring it out of the shadows? Like, we can't talk about that stuff. Heavens to Betsy, we bring up politics, right? Can't talk about that either. Like, we're not allowed to talk about serious things, right? I don't agree with anything that Kyrie Irving said or did. The punishment that is being leveled against him is ridiculously over the top. Nobody else in society has been held to that standard. Nobody. Point to me somebody who's losing millions of dollars in a fine and then on top of that has to donate $500,000.
Oh, but he gets paid all this money.
But that's not the point. That's not the point. It doesn't, like, and everybody's like, well, it's a privilege to play in the NBA. Okay, totally agree with that. But show me the precedent for this kind of suspension, this kind of punishment.
Yeah.
Show me the precedent. Show me the precedent where he didn't get cut and his career was over. Where is it? Because you can't compare. The other thing you got to stop doing, stop comparing Kyrie Irving, the basketball player, to Kanye West, the entrepreneur who's lost $1 billion. Because I hear all these people saying, well, Kanye lost $1 billion. Well, he's also in a completely different existence than Kyrie is. Kyrie Irving should be punished for what he said. I agree with that. 5-game suspension. Okay, cool. We'll see you on that game, the 6th game. Now, all of a sudden, we've got to do all of this other stuff. It's just not normal. And I think what it's doing, in my opinion, is only exacerbating, making the problem worse and making the issue worse. And I listened to Jaylen Brown, who is a vice president at the Players Association. And I'm just going to play this without even explanation. Here is Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics talking about Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, his response was alarming to me. I tweeted it out yesterday. He didn't say that the organization was working together to get Kyrie back on the floor. He said that he had more work to do. And our society has more work to do, including Joe Tsai. And it's 2022. It takes 10 minutes of time to see who, these business owners, corporations, et cetera, who they're associated with, who they're doing business with, and who they're affiliated with. And I'm vice president of the union, and it's part of my job to protect our players legally. And to see Phil Knight first come out and condemn, Kyrie, and also see Joe Tsai say he has more work to do, I think it's time for a larger conversation. And Adam came out and said a statement that he doesn't believe Kyrie Irving is anti-Semitic, yet he's still suspended indefinitely. So those are my thoughts.
Well, listen, first of all, Joe Tsai has mismanaged this horrendously.
Yeah.
I mean, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets is Joe Tsai. He has mismanaged this horrendously. Phil Knight, in my opinion, and I don't want to hear about, they make their shoes here. In this particular situation, Phil Knight did exactly what he had to do. I have no problem with what Nike did. You don't like the way a guy represents your brand in public, cut that guy. That's exactly what Phil Knight did. That's the reality. Kyrie knew what he was doing when he did it.
And every athlete knows that.
And by the way, their relationship was incredibly flawed long before Kyrie Irving started talking about Alex Jones and books and movies on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? He was on his way out at Nike. Phil Knight just put the cap on that, right? So I don't have a problem with Phil Knight in this situation. What I have a problem with is Jaylen Brown not recognizing and not speaking to what Kyrie Irving did there. Because this is the other side of the, hey, we went way too far in punishing Kyrie Irving. But the other side of that is, hey, we're going way too far in defending what Kyrie Irving's rights are. I can tell you now, you can be anti-Semitic or you can play in the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, professional sports, or you can represent brands like Nike, or you can be an anti-Semite. You can't be both. You can't be both.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, you want to hate, on protected classes, LGBTQ, you want to hate on minorities, you want to, okay, great. That is absolutely your right. If you want to hold anti-Semitic rights or beliefs, that's your right. But that doesn't mean that people have to do business with you. That doesn't mean that you get to play in the NBA. That doesn't mean that people will pay you millions of dollars to wear their shoes. That's the truth of the conversation. If Kyrie Irving wants to be an anti-Semite, those are his rights. The same that I get to say, hey, I'm not an anti-Semite. I don't agree at all on any words that Kyrie or Kanye spoke. It's my right to say that. Just as it's theirs to say what they said. But they have no right to come back and say, hey, this is unjust that you're taking my money away. It's not unjust that they took your money away. I think it's way over the top that all the other stuff. But they suspended you because you're an anti-Semite. Your words have real consequences, which, by the way, is the other thing that nobody wants to talk about anymore, that your words have real consequences. Kyrie Irving, in my opinion, is an anti-Semite. He's a bigot. I don't believe that he should be allowed to play in the NBA. I've said that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Those are my feelings, and I can have them because, well, we live in a free country.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving can feel whatever he wants. The middle on this is Kyrie Irving's a bigot and an anti-Semite. He should be suspended, and he should have his money taken from him and understand that bigotry and anti-Semitism have no place in the NBA. That's what the punishment should be. If the Nets choose to employ him after that, that's totally up to them. If the NBA chooses to continue to allow him to be employed in their league, that's totally up to them. But you have to send a message. But that message can't be way over the top like it is. I want to play this other bite from Jaylen Brown because I think this matters about it. Here's Jaylen Brown and his thoughts on what should be done about this.
I said this before. I think it's uncharted territory. I think there's no distinction between what somebody says versus what somebody posts, and I guess that's what they're trying to figure out. The terms that the Brooklyn Nets instituted for his return. I voice my discomfort. Some of our players, some people in the media, voice some of their discomfort with that, and we've yet to hear what is the latest with that situation. It's still an indefinite suspension. He's already missed 5 or 6 games. So, how many games is he going to continue to miss? Is it another situation going on there? Is it a larger situation going on there? Is another conversation that need to be had? We've yet to find out. So I'm staying tuned, and I'm keeping my phone on to just see what is going to come of this situation.
Why can't you just stop it and say they're trying to figure it out? Because I think that's where the NBA is. I do agree with Jaylen Brown that this is uncharted water. Okay? It's not, however, uncharted water that people have posted stupid things on social media.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, again, if you're an anti-Semite, if you're a bigot and you want to post that stuff on social media, that's your right. But it's the NBA's right to protect their brand and their livelihood.
Right.
So there is a middle and there is a middle ground there. And the thing he said that I totally agree, and I wish more people understood, what you tweet and post on social media, no matter where it is the same thing as you saying it out loud. It has consequences.
Yeah.
And I go back to this whole thing, the genesis of where all this starts, whether it's Chappelle, Kanye, I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
One, what would happen in society if a white person had said this? Because that was a question that was asked. Alex Jones has said these things. He's a pariah.
Yep.
So this is not a black guy versus a white guy thing. We have to stop making everything about race and black guy versus white guy. We do that far too much. Tackle the issue at its face. Kyrie Irving said anti-Semitic things, and he looked, sounded, and feels to me like a bigot. There is a punishment for that. The NBA doesn't have a policy in place for this stuff. Or at least they don't now, because you and I both know that's coming.
Right.
If somebody had said to Kyrie Irving 20 years ago, hey, bro, your words have consequences. If somebody had said to all of these people, go back to all the baseball, Josh Hader, the closer for the Padres, late of the Brewers.
Yeah.
If somebody had said to him, your tweets are your words and your words have consequences, would he have tweeted those terrible things?
Nope.
Maybe not. But we're unwilling to hold people accountable and say, hey, you can't say whatever you want to say. Well, that's America. No, that's very true. But your words have consequences, so you can't work here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live here anymore. You can't represent my brand. You can't play in the NBA. You can't work at Nike, Amazon, Facebook, Apple. Because I'm telling you right now, if I had said the things that Kyrie or Kanye said, they would have told me, hey, you can't do your show here anymore.
Yeah.
And you probably wouldn't be listening to our show. And all of our sponsors would have said, yeah, we can't be associated with you guys anymore.
So go ahead and say whatever the hell you want to say.
But you better know that your words have consequences.
Yeah, and I don't know why it's so uncomfortable for people to accept that.
I don't get it.
I think that
I don't get it.
I think that the core issue for Kyrie is just that, right? Like, hey, I can say whatever I want, really, or I can tweet whatever I want. Like, that was the core issue with Kanye. I mean, Kanye flat out said that, right? Like, hey, I can say whatever I want, and Adidas can't drop me. Like, that's literally what Kanye said, and I feel like there was like this wave that people were trying to ride of just saying whatever the hell they wanted, and we're undefeated, and no one can do anything about it.
What's the conversation around social justice issues, Black Lives Matter, COVID, vaccines.
Right.
This anti-Semitism thing with Kyrie and Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA has a real issue with this particular situation. Social justice is not convenience. And I think a lot of people don't understand this. Social justice, and the Black Lives Matter movement is probably the best example of this, but I think over the last 5 years, 6 years certainly, I think back before, our political landscape changed so much in 2016, I think the social justice warrior used to be a noble thing. And I think we've flipped that on its ear because we tend to get so crazy in these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
If we could have had an open, honest discussion as a country about Black Lives Matter, we wouldn't probably be burning Portland down, for instance, right? Like, if we could have had real, honest, open conversations about the contents of a vaccine, how many people would have gotten the vaccine that didn't, and how many people would be alive versus being dead because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do that.
Well, and I think that type of thing, like a vaccine, like I think anything medical where you're like imposing on someone's body, if you will, that's where I think it gets really, really touchy for a lot of people. Because that's like where I feel like...
As it should be, though.
Yeah, as it should be. I'm not saying it's wrong for people to be sensitive about like what enters their body, but I think, unfortunately, this is where I don't want to call it a double standard, but a different standard comes in as a professional athlete, because you are a professional athlete. You are a star, a celebrity.
But how many people are built to deal with that?
To deal with what? Not taking a vaccine?
No. How many people are built to be stars, professional athletes?
Well, I don't think Kyrie Irving's built to be that. I just think he happens to be that.
But think about where a lot of, in our society, where the explosion of single parent homes. Mm-hmm. And again, this is not these young black kids from the city. I'm telling you now, there are so many white families that have single family home. Like, we have to stop that. My point is, single family homes now, where it's just mom and son, or just dad and son or daughter, dad and child.
Yeah.
In terms of the NBA, it's just mom or dad raising their son alone. You're probably not going to have much in your pocket. There are probably nights where you're going to be cold. There are probably nights where you're not going to have dinner going to bed. There's certainly people in this world who grow up without internet. They make it to the NBA, and then we hand them $10 million. How many people are prepared for that?
Well, it's like you go, like, and I'm not even trying to exaggerate, but literally, like, you think about the life you had before you got that direct deposit.
Yeah.
And now the life that you don't even, like, when that happens to you, I can't even imagine, like, how it feels, because I don't even think you know what to do with it. Because, like, and it's the old saying, right? If you've never had money, you don't know what it's like to have money. And it's like, I feel like a lot of these guys don't understand the platform. Like, I could even make a case. Kevin Durant doesn't understand his platform. LeBron doesn't understand his platform.
But how many guys screw it up because they're not ready for the money?
Yeah.
They're not ready for the fame. They don't understand the influence. So they wind up giving that money away, or they wind up doing stupid stuff, or, you know, like I just think we don't have an appreciation. And I'll even bring in this thing at Virginia, where this football player, former football player, murders 3 of his teammates and wounds 2 others. We don't know why yet. He's in custody, by the way. We don't know why yet. We don't know the hows yet. But you have to appreciate on some level the opportunity that you have, whether you're Kyrie, Kanye, Dave Chappelle, or the 3 kids who are dead at Virginia.
Do you think Kyrie Irving, and I'm honestly asking this, do you think Kyrie Irving thought about the consequences before he sent that tweet out?
No. And I don't think he thought about, I think that guys like Kyrie Irving, now, I put Kanye in a different box because I really do feel like Kanye West has issues that he is not dealing with. Based on what Kim Kardashian has said, his former wife, like based on what the people around him have said, he has mental disease that he is not dealing with. So I'm going to put Kanye to the side on this. I look at Kyrie Irving. I think, first of all, Kyrie's made so much money with, you know, think about the movies, think about the old guy on the basketball court.
The Nike money.
The Nike money, the salary money, the championship money, the endorsement money. He's made money.
Yeah.
I think he thought he was bulletproof. And I think what he has not learned, and he did not learn this through the vaccine controversy, when you're not there, people don't care about you. When you are not playing, people don't care about you. When you are not you're not doing your show for 2 weeks, people don't care about you. When you don't show up for work, people don't care about you. And Kanye forgot that. And then he came back, and I think he thought he'd be a savior. And he didn't lose that brash attitude where he said, hey, I'll be back. See you in September, when he opted into his contract.
Kyrie. Yeah, you said Kanye.
Yeah, my bad. Kyrie was
yeah, and that's a great point. I forgot about that. Yeah,
Kyrie was like, "All right, see you. I'm back. See you in September."
Yeah,
for my $37 million. Like, you're a jerk, dude.
Yeah.
You don't have perspective on how fortunate you are that you're in an organization that allows you to observe your religious freedoms because he is a Muslim. So he observes Ramadan, which means he fasts from sunup to sundown. So he eats on the bench and looks, just weak for the period of Ramadan.
Well, and it affected his play. I mean, everyone agrees with that.
But the organization supported him. The organization supported him through this whole vaccine thing. The organization has supported him roundly and pays him $37 million a year. And then he gives it away on suspensions. He gives it away on fines. Like, it drives me crazy, man. Like, and it seems unique to the NBA. There's some guys in baseball, this Yasiel Puig story, the former Dodger Cincinnati Red, pled guilty in an illegal gambling arraignment yesterday. Like, Yasiel Puig never had appreciation for who he was and where he had gotten to.
No, he was just looking to, make it big time.
But I think Kyrie Irving, who went to Duke, who has family, I think Kyrie Irving has been arrogant his entire adult life.
Yeah.
And I think this is where it comes back to get him.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I don't mean to be going. I don't mean to be going too far into it, but
yeah.
Big Dog O-Town says, so tweeting a movie is anti-Semitic now. Stop. We're not doing that. Stop. That's not what Kyrie Irving was doing.
I would expect better.
That is not what Kyrie Irving was doing. I'm like, unless I totally missed something, he actually said, I'm missing the point. Please tell me what actually came out of his mouth that was anti-Semitic. I'm not going to say what he said. You can go back and you can listen to the words he spoke.
Are you really unfamiliar with that movie?
I come on now. Come on. I think we're past that conversation.
Yeah.
The Night Guy says, I think like us, the NBA is puke sick of Irving. I think so. I think so. Oh, that's a really good point. Anthony Vincent says, if he hadn't doubled down on his pride originally, perhaps the term would have been more lenient.
Well, and that's what I think a lot of people are saying.
All.
Like, you look around, like, what people have said, and everyone roundly agrees. If dude would have just come to the middle a little bit and literally just said, at that presser, instead of fighting with Nick Friedel, if he'd have just said, hey, yeah, you know what? That was a mistake to tweet that, and even if you didn't believe it, right? Like, for the sake of your career and for the sake of hundreds of thousands of dollars, which I get, that's pennies to him, but still, like, that's still hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sake of your career, the money, your family, and I know, like, your image as a person, it would have been smart to just say, hey, yeah, I made a mistake, and I'm really sorry about that. And I think the problem is when you skip that step and you do fight with Friedel, and then you got to do another media scrum, even if you do apologize, it's not going to feel genuine. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree. Tom says, this is a precedent setter. Wish there was someone who could suspend Kanye indefinitely, too. I don't wish there was someone who could suspend Kanye indefinitely. Kanye suspended himself.
And I think with Kanye, we have to, like, we as a society on some level have to make better choices. Like, I have no problem saying, hey, I loved Kanye's music growing up. Loved it, dude. Kanye West and his impact on society at that time was truly incredible.
I go back to what everybody else was saying. The death of Kanye's mom is what broke him.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Football 50 in just a couple of minutes. Skinny Dick Nick says, Kyrie was trashing his own shoe line last year. Easy decision for Nike. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret.
Right.
I mean, they basically came out and said that I think they actually did officially say they weren't going to renew him.
They did.
Even before all this happened.
Yeah, so that's why I said Phil Knight terminated him without question.
Yeah.
Austin says, best sports talk show in Utah. If a white guy had said it, there would have been death threats. Yeah, probably. I'm glad you guys are handling this Kyrie topic so fairly. That's what ESPN should have done over the last 5 years.
Yeah, but I think look, and we don't need to go down this rabbit hole super deep, but like, let's not lose sight of the fact that major TV network always has something they're trying to work towards. I love ESPN. We have ESPN on the tube right here that you can't see, right? Like, we watch ESPN every day. But they are a major TV network, and they're
responsible, and they report to their bottom line.
Yeah, dude.
And so I Having been at ESPN, I can tell you that they are that's a very business-like operation, and they're damn good at what they do.
Yeah.
So I'm not the guy that's going to complain about that. Brent Burnett says Monty is going into it, and he means it. Durant point was handle this stuff in private. I agree with that.
Durant.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't like, and again, I think owners make or break their franchises. Joe Tsai talking about this so often and so publicly is a mistake.
Yeah.
We need to hear from Kevin Durant.
Look at the Boston Celtics situation with Udoka. Look at how that's just chilled out now, right? Because how did they handle it?
But Joe Tsai wanted to handle it by hiring Ime Udoka.
That's my point. That's why this is so in people's faces. That's why I'm saying the Jaylen Brown sound bites. There are some things in there that I don't quite agree with Jaylen, some small minutia stuff, but I think he makes a great point. Yeah. You're sledgehammering Kyrie, and that's just not the proper way to go about it.
Lopes fan Gabe, good morning to you. Hit the like button, you casuals. Yes, please hit the like button. If all 90 of you that are here now hit the like button, that would really help us. McKinley Cutler says Kyrie should have been cut, but now that he hasn't, they need to overcompensate on the punishment. Probably.
But see, to me, and that's a great point, but to me, is that not like an immature response out of Joe Tsai? Like, let's say that is true, that's how they feel. Hey, we should have cut him, we didn't, now we got to punish him. That might be one of the most childish things I've ever heard. Like, why don't you just come out and admit that you made a mistake? Like, that's, again, I always come back to this, I feel like. I always die on this hill. Dude, if Tyreek Hill would have just said, I made a mistake, he'd have been fine. If Kyrie would have said, I made a mistake. If Zeke would have said, I made a mistake, you would have been fine, dude.
Yeah, guys won't do that.
They won't.
But they will do football at 50, 10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. Let's go. We have to change the song eventually, but I'll throw it up. I'll stop. I'll never say that again. Presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Get 25% off your order at $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. All right. Should the Arizona Cardinals bench Kyler Murray? I think this is a huge talking point, and it's certainly something a lot of people are talking about because Colt McCoy played so well in his stead. With little Kyler unable to play. We have Kanye, Kyrie, and Kyler.
Lil Kyler.
It is so difficult not to screw that up. But Kyler Murray I think he's a problem in Arizona. What is wrong in Arizona, and who's more to blame? Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach, or Kyler Murray, the quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to go with Kyler just because I think he's the one that's had the tirades. He's the one that's freaked out on the field. And I think, my mind immediately goes to, well, Aaron Rodgers does the same thing. Yeah, the difference is Aaron Rodgers has a ring and he's one of the best in the game. Whereas Kyler Murray still, I feel like, has to prove that. And there are so many times where it feels like, hey, if you would just make the basic football play, you'd win the game. But he's too worried about running around and trying to win a Heisman in the NFL. Like,
totally
come on,
agree.
dude.
Totally agree. And well, you know what, Eric and Raleigh? That's exactly right. Kyler Murray can't run the plays that are called because he can't see over the offensive line. I think that's the best point.
Hey.
Anyway.
I think it's something he deals with, though.
I do. And I think he will not run plays that are called. He runs what he wants to run. And I think it's a huge problem for the Arizona Cardinals. So for me, for my money anyway, I think Kyler Murray's far more of a problem than Cliff Kingsbury. They've shown when you run the design of the offense and you run the plays that are called, they score points.
100%.
And that's why I say this is a huge problem. I would trade him in the offseason. You got to play him the rest of the year.
Yeah.
You cannot bench him. You cannot. Let's see. Justin Salas 2. Justin Salas 2. Hey! Justin Salas 2 thinks the music is a bit too loud, but I like it. It's a bit too loud. Okay.
All right. There you go. Pull it down.
We'll turn it down. Football at 50, 10 of the hour. Every hour is presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza.
Papa Murphy's presents How to Change the Way You Pizza. Step 1, carefully knead dough. Step 2, artfully spread sauce. Step 3, add fresh mozzarella and assemble toppings. Step 4, realize we already did all that for you, so all you have to do is bake it. For a limited time only, get the Hog Heaven Pizza with Canadian bacon, ground sausage, and crispy bacon. Papa Murphy's, change the way you pizza.
Football at 50, 10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase at $25 or more. Just download the Papa Murphy's app. It's so easy. Plug in the promo code. It's a bit, you save like $9-10 depending on your order at Papa Murphy's Pizza. We're presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. Let's talk some Jazz hoop. Jake, the Jazz and the Knicks tonight.
Yeah.
Do the Jazz get back to their winning ways?
Yeah, I think that the Jazz do get back to winning tonight. And I think that, when we start to break down what this matchup looks like, I think that the Jazz they need, number one, to get back to moving the ball. Like, that's just the first thing. Like, I was really surprised that this team got away from that fundamental, because I had seen such consistency through the first handful of games here, through the first, what is this, game 14, I think, or wherever they're at in the schedule now. Like, I had seen a lot of that consistency of moving the ball and looking for that, for the right shot, right? But as they go through these last two games, something happens where, hey, in the first quarter, we're really committed to moving the ball, probing the defense, trying to find a great shot. But then the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter comes around, obviously, and we're not doing that. And so Colin Sexton does get blocked by Joel Embiid. Mike Conley's not getting that nice open look from the extra pass on the wing, right? Like, you're not getting those high percentage looks. So against the Knicks tonight, I would expect you, a rested Jazz team, to make the right play, because I think this team, while they have some vets, the guys you're playing are not vets. They're young guys, right? The Colin Sexton, they're getting the lion's share of the minutes. You look at Vando, he's getting a lot of minutes. Those guys need to make the proper decisions. So some of the matchups I'd love to see tonight, I want to see Vando versus Julius. And I want to see that matchup because Vanderbilt should have a perfectly good time guarding Julius. He's got length. He has size. He should be able to battle him physically. Walker Kessler tonight, another guy that I want to see how they use him and what matchups they work him into. Like, you look at Hartenstein for the Knicks. Does Walker Kessler see him defensively? Does that matchup happen? I don't know. But my point is that that's what you should be looking for as a Jazz fan tonight. Do they stay committed to moving the ball? Defensively, are you going to be solid? Or is Walker Kessler going to get exposed in switches, right? That's the stuff that, I would be looking for as a Jazz fan tonight. As far as this organization is concerned, I think you're in a great spot. Like, I think you've done everything that you need to do to this point. Like, you're obviously, you obviously have a winning record. You're obviously moving in the right direction. But I think there are a lot of these little storylines that you're dealing with, whether it's the Kessler stuff, Sexton, the passing stuff. You're working on all this. So as you play teams like the Knicks, and as you come home, and as you're rested and ready to go, you really should be able to produce a winning result tonight. And I would be surprised. I think they're not favorited super heavy tonight, but the total number is 230. So to me,
excuse me, it's 230 and a half.
230 and a half. Excuse me. Like, you're going to score a lot of points against this team, but they need to get back to the fundamentals of their system.
Yeah, I agree. I think the fundamental thing is a big deal. And I know we talk a ton of Jazz basketball here on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. My feeling is the fundamental thing is going to make or break Will Hardy this year as a coach. Because, because I think when you look at Will Hardy, as a young coach, you're just forming your identity now. So you're not established in that locker room yet. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll be interesting to see, do the Jazz come back out tonight and play that team, ball moving, three-point shooting, get to the basket style that made them one of the best teams in the NBA to start this season? That's a real question, because now you've lost 2 in a row and you're facing your real first adversity of the season. And it's going to be fun to see, in my opinion. It's going to be fun to see how they advance and how they grow, because when you lose at the NBA level, it's not hard to lose 5 in a row. It really is not. It's not hard to go 5-5. It's not hard to go, 3-7 in a 10-game stretch. And that's what you're really trying to avoid. So tonight, I think, is actually a really important game for this Jazz team. And I think when you look at the lineup thing and you look at, hey, who gets what minutes, I think it's less important who starts and who versus who gets the minutes. Because I think we're seeing that, Colin Sexton's getting starters minutes. You're seeing that, Biggs off the bench, that rotation. Kelly Olynk doesn't always play starters minutes. But you're looking at a guy like Walker Kessler. He needs 20 minutes a night right now. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how does he play against the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
How much do we see Rudy Gay tonight? Because I'd actually like to see far less from Rudy Gay. And I want to see Walker Kessler play small ball.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want to see versatility. So I think tonight is a real look into how much control Will Hardy has over his team.
Yeah, and I think he has, good control, but you can't continue to be inconsistent with the system. Like I know that we say that a lot, but you got to be committed to it 100%. And I think the Jazz they're a young team. You're going to go through these growing pains, and I think, that's just what young teams do. But yeah, I think when you're playing a team like the Knicks, you should win this game tonight.
You absolutely should win this game. And I think it's one of those things where you have to find a way through. But that's just my thought on it. Let's see. Trade the whole team for second-round picks. The magic is over, and the Jazz stink. Okay, I mean, listen, I think you're probably wrong about that. I would agree. That's a hot take. That's absolutely a hot take. Austie says Jake's on point with the Jazz. Need to do, and I suspect will do. I mean, a year from now, how different will this team be?
Very different.
You think so?
Yeah, I think very different. I think I think Clarkson won't be here. Conley won't be here. I think you're going to make significant deadline deals, even if you are at 30 wins and you're having a great season. I think you still have to be committed to building a championship team.
And I just hope that Jazz fans don't overreact to this 2-game losing streak. I mean, it's 2 games. It's 2 games on an East Coast trip back to back. Like, I just don't think this should be that big of a deal. And I think when you look at the performance that you got in Philly, really it was Philadelphia more than the Washington loss. The Philly loss bothers you because they just didn't play team basketball. And I think tonight it's easy to be a coach in that situation, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
NBA coaching is really hard. But I think it's easier when you can say, okay, hey, look, Colin, we can't go up on Joel Embiid and get blocked in that situation.
Look here, man.
You got to kick that ball to the corner for a wide open 3. And I don't care if it's your mom's sister's accountant standing there waiting for the pass. Kick the ball to the corner.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to make that pass, and they didn't. And I think those are really easy, teachable moments. But a guy like Jordan Clarkson, Jordan's one of those guys where I'm like, I don't know what to make. Is Jordan Clarkson a guy, and how do I put this gently? Is he a guy that's capable of being a team player? Or is he a guy who is only going to thrive when he's a bucket getter?
No, I mean, I think he's capable of being a team player, right? But just like Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson got away from passing. Like, I think as a team, mentally, they just went away from that. And there's not like, this isn't one of those things where it's like there's a specific reason. Like, hey, like Clarkson just decided he wasn't going to pass. Like, you have to understand that guys like Jordan Clarkson, who have been bucket getters their whole career and have been 6-man, just come off the bench and score guys, like, it's not going to be just an overnight, all right, all of a sudden I'm going to have a great feel for every situation that I'm in. Like I'm telling you, there's a real value for point guards in the league who can clean up a possession for a team, who understand, okay, hey, dude was just getting double teamed. We need to slow this down a little bit and get back into our set. Even though there's 10 seconds left on the clock, let's at least get a pick and roll, or like, let's get into our set a little bit here and find that open look. And I'm telling you, I love Mike Conley. I know that he's mentoring Colin Sexton and doing a great job in leadership. He is not the leader you need on this team. He is not the alpha, but he's doing the best that he can do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Esquiverit. That's ridiculous. You can't platoon Kessler on the perimeter.
Nobody's saying a platoon the guy on the perimeter. What do you mean, dude?
Yeah, what are you talking about? I think Walker Kessler's usage is a really important thing to watch this year.
Dude, you need to see if he's capable of switching and being serviceable guarding a guard.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That is a possession by possession occurrence in the league, to the point where Rudy Gobert got played off the floor last year.
Yeah, I think it's a really important distinction. I think you have to... Rudy Gay's not a guy that I think should be getting a ton of minutes. The 3 ball's not going in at the rate. His defense, I think, has been strikingly mediocre. I want to see more from Walker. And when I say I want to see him play small ball, I want to see him be that guy who's just on the edge of the paint. Mm-hmm. I want to see him go up against small ball fives, and I want to see how he can do with that because he's got the athletic ability to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can play in multiple systems. I just want to see what that looks like. Give the guy a chance to fail because that's where your best growth spurt's going to be. So I'm not telling you to have him go stand in the corner and shoot threes. I mean, by no stretch am I saying that. But he is already a pretty good pick and roll player. I would have him be a pick and roll guy. Have him roll to the rim. Have him rim run. Have him play good defense. He's a really natural shot blocker already. That's what I mean when I say I want to see him play small ball. I'm not asking him to go guard Trae Young. I just don't think that is... I don't think that's at all what I'm saying.
But the fact is like, let's say that he had to guard Trae Young. How bad is it?
Well, yeah, because you're going to be put in those situations and picking in switches.
Like you need to see, like, can he force a longer 3-point attempt, or is he someone that is going to get blown by regularly? You need to find that out.
Because we're seeing Vando force 3-point opportunities. He's keeping guys in front of him. Jaron says this could easily be one of those 20-point wins for the Jazz at home, ready to bounce back. Well, the Knicks are not exactly playing great basketball. I mean, they've lost 6 of 9.
Yeah.
And they are coming off of a Sunday loss where Evan Fournier was absolutely terrible against Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 145-135.
I'm sorry, I thought you said 145 points.
It is. They're
to the OKC Thunder.
I'm telling you, the Knicks have real issues with Evan Fournier coming off the bench. I mean, 20 minutes, 0 of 5 from the floor, 0 of 3 from 3, 2 assists, a steal, no points. Evan Fournier is not he is not on that team shown that he can be a bench player. And and I again point back to the dysfunction of the Knicks. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be redundant here, but they didn't make the Donovan Mitchell trade, and it is absolutely crushing them right now.
Yep.
And obviously not having Mitchell Robinson is a huge problem for them.
Yeah.
I am a huge Mitchell Robinson guy, as I think.
Yeah, 100%. He's a difference maker.
Yeah, I'm a huge Mitchell Robinson guy, and just not having him there, not having your 7-foot, 240-pound center there, because he's having knee issues. I just that's a huge loss for him. He's day to day with this knee, but he's not playing a whole lot of basketball right now, and I think they really need him. But Evan Fournier is a very odd fit for them. And I think what you're seeing is what we all worried about. You're seeing that Obi Toppin's got to play a lot more minutes than you want. I think Obi Toppin's a 12 to 15-minute max guy in this league. I don't think he's some 25-minute guy. He's playing 15 to 18 minutes for them. Razzle dazzle. And he shoots a lot of threes.
Yep.
And that's not what I want from my bigs. But I also look at the bench scoring that they get. It's Emmanuel Quickly, and that's really it. And I'm curious what they do because I think they're going to make big changes. And by the way, the other guy that I think you have to talk about with the Knicks, and I know we had huge battles about him, I look at R.J. Barrett, and I'm just asking, I understand, he had that 30-point game against Detroit. I totally get that. But before that, he's not a guy that you're like, yeah, I got to have this guy. His scoring numbers are off this year. He's under 20 points a game. Against OKC, okay, they had a terrible game. He scored 4 points and took 10 shots.
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
They played him 19 minutes.
I thought you said he scored 4 points.
Yeah, this is classic Tom Thibodeau. I'm telling you, man.
Hell no.
He's not a championship coach. Tom Thibodeau is not a championship coach. I am telling you that right now. BB says, do you guys think they could trade Clarkson for a first? I do think they could.
Yeah, I do.
I don't see them. No. Brett Burnett, I don't see them extending him. I don't see that. Jeremy Bolton, good morning to you. I feel like the Jazz have played 4 home games. Seems like this first part of the schedule has been pretty difficult. It's been a lot of grinding. I will say that. And they've done well. Obviously, they've done well. We'll see. Justin Salas, too, says Jordan Clarkson has always been a bucket getter, so I think it's easy to fall back into your old ways.
100%.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
No doubt. Kurt Meyer says there is no I-in team. I'd agree with that. Jeremy says, I think Clarkson has already shown he is a team player. However, I think when they get down, Clarkson naturally will want to start shooting more because that's what he's always done. Yeah, I agree with
100%.
that. Yep, Justin Clarkson sometimes just gets out of balance. Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
Tom says, Kurt, but as Jordan said, there is an I in win.
That's right.
I love that. BB says, why do we sometimes not get Mark the ball? You mean market? Does he mean marketing?
Yeah. I think a lot of people said that they should have got marketing the ball down the stretch against
Philly. I also
Philly.
think you look at the guys who are taking the shots.
Yeah, I think that marketing needs to be better about demanding the ball.
He's not an alpha.
Well,
he's not a number
that
one.
Might be true, but they're asking the question why they don't get the ball to him.
Because he's not an alpha. He's not a. And listen, I like Lauri Markkanen a lot. I love having him on the team as my second best player. And this is where the Jazz are at. Right now, you don't have a number one. You don't. You have a bunch of 2s and 3s. And there's nothing wrong with that for where they are. But you knew what you were getting into when you traded Don.
Yep.
You don't have an alpha.
That's right.
Now, I am again telling you, especially with the way this club has started, the Donovan Mitchell trade has not been a bad trade for the Jazz. It is a development process. They are retooling this roster, and part of that retool is they're going to have to go out now and find a different number one to be what you need, because they don't have a guy. Like, for better or for worse last night, Devin Booker was the it for the Phoenix Suns, and he got fouled and then his shot blocked by Jimmy Butler. But that's a guy you knew was going to take your biggest shot of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea who's going to take the biggest shot of the game for the Utah Jazz because they don't have a number one.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now it'd be Clarkson or Lauri. I mean, that's, like those are the two guys that I'd be having take it. I mean, Clarkson flat out took it in that, I can't remember what game that was they were playing, but they go to overtime and, he tries to win the game and, frankly takes a falling into the crowd 3-point shot that was never going in. And I, the next day, complained about, his shot choice, and not forcing a good shot. And that's what I'm saying. I just think that these guys are human beings, man. Like, they're inevitably going to fall out of the system, and you got to bring them back in. You got to reel them back in and say, hey, Jordan, hey, you were standing at the elbow, and Buddy was in the corner. You got to kick that ball. Yeah, like, dude was in the corner. And I know you probably think that, it's better to have you try to go up against the big, but we need to move that ball to the corner and take that shot. That's what good basketball looks like right now.
Yeah, I think good basketball is a very smart way to say that.
Yeah.
This team just needs to play good basketball.
Yeah.
Get through this season. There's no reason you can't be a playoff team, and I think you will. So we'll see. Zesty Retros and Games says, did you see TCU lost last night? Terrible loss. Yeah, I mean, it was an awful loss.
Man, wow.
I can't believe it.
Gonzaga.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Neville 93, what's up, my guy? He says, what's the score for tonight? What do you guys think the Jazz and Knicks? I think it's going to be 112-90 Utah wins. No, it'll be much more high scoring than that.
No, the Jazz have 130 tonight, dude.
I think you look at the number on this game is 230.5. That right there tells you that you're 115 apiece. I think you're looking at a 125-117 kind of game. You're looking at a game that's going to be a shootout. Both these teams can get out and run. I think the Knicks are playing dreadful basketball. And the guy that I'd be interested to see tonight is RJ Barrett. He's coming off of one of his worst games as a professional.
Yeah.
What adjustment are the Knicks going to make? And how are the Jazz going to get back to playing that team ball? Because the New York Knicks can absolutely be had. If you play your game and you play defense, make this life difficult on the Knicks, I think you got to do that. Rotations, my guess is the Jazz score 120, and I think the Nets are probably...
The Knicks.
God, dog. The Knicks are probably... 111, 112. I think you probably I'm going to say over, and I think the Jazz cover the 4 points.
I mean, I think this is a flat out ass kicking from the Jazz, if I'm being honest. Like,
really?
I think this is 130 to 115. Like, this is because what's going to happen here is because RJ is not a dynamic scorer and you kind of just have a bunch of guys playing together there, you don't really have that team aspect in New York. Like, you're not going to, and again, this is all predicated on the Jazz getting back to how they were playing, right? Like, if we get good Jazz basketball tonight, they're going to score a bunch on this team. And I think it's because they're going to outwork the Knicks. Like, if you can think about the teams they've outworked already, right? If you can outwork the Clippers, if you can outwork, Memphis. Like, Memphis might be the best example. Memphis can rebound the hell out of the ball.
Yep.
Right? And they have a great team, ton of chemistry.
And they're getting Jaren Jackson back tonight.
Yeah, like, they have a lot of want to, and you beat that team. Like, if we get that Jazz team, they will score 130 tonight.
By the way, did you see Chaboys at Golden State last night? 132-95 on San Antonio.
Golden State's falling apart. They're not going to the playoffs. They're terrible.
I said 132-95. And they sent James Wiseman down to the G League.
I have to say, that's a ballsy move. Like, that's not an easy one.
And it's not just that the Golden State Warriors sent James Wiseman to the G League. Steve Kerr, after the game, said it's going to be an extended trip down to Santa Cruz. Who, by the way, guess where Santa Cruz is playing their next games? Monday and Tuesday right here at the Mavericks Center.
That's right, T.
So
might want to come out and see him.
Johnny Juzang and Du Bois.
Costs not very much to come to a G League game, just saying.
And the bill, by the way, again, not to belabor the point, and I'll take some pictures and tweet them. The new scoreboard, the new Jumbotron at Mavericks Center with the ribbons and everything, it's spectacular. It is. This building is completely different. So, yeah, but Kuminga plays 25 minutes, 15 points, 3 of 4 from 3 for Jonathan Kuminga.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at James Wiseman, 9 minutes, 2 points, -4. His defense is a problem.
Yep.
And again, by the way, Jordan Poole last night, 29 minutes, 36 points.
Yep.
It's like stupid good. So it's going to be interesting to see. I am fascinated by this season of the NBA more than I have been fascinated by any season recently. The way that this season has started.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that has me wondering more is how much money I could make as a day trader at trydaytrading.com/Monty.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not wonder that,
If you're waking up this morning, and I know it's 8:20 in the morning here on the Monty Show. If you're waking up this morning and we're talking about, oh, man, I hate having to go to work. I don't want to go to work. I hate my boss. I wish I worked for myself. Man, I wish I could afford a vacation. Man, I'm tight on rent. Man, I'm tight on mortgage. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Go figure out what day trading is. I know a lot of us as men know the stock market. We love the stock market. We watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But you should be leveraging it. And think about all the side hustles you've tried. Are you an ATM machine guy? Are you a vending machine guy? Are you an Amazon FBA guy? What are your side hustles? Are you garage sailing? Why not stop the side hustle grind and get to trydaytrading.com/Monty and do something that has very little risk and a tremendous upside? That's what we all want when we go into business for ourselves, right? We want to be able to have very little risk and high upside. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. That's the truth of it.
Yep.
When you go through the Tri-Day Trading program, they teach you how to be a prolific elite day trader. And they're so confident in their program that when you start making trades, you trade their money, not your money. That's how confident they are. And when you make money with their money, you split the profit with TryDayTrading.com. That's how good their program is. There are people today, and ask yourself what this kind of money would do. Think about right now, answer the question, how much money are you going to make at work today? How much money are you going to make at work today? Oh, you don't know the answer to that question? That's a problem in itself. But if I said to you, hey, you could make $300 to $1,000 today and every business day for the rest of the year, what would your reaction to that be? You would be excited about that. That's what's happening every day with alums of the Tri-Day Trading program. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Let's get some of your comments in here on Jazz basketball. BB says, playing the stock right now while listening. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Esquiverit. Ski is going to be your name now. He has the upside of favors without the privilege of getting paid by the Jazz. What was a terrible pick? What are you talking about? Ski, tell me that again, because I see your previous comment was it was a terrible pick. What was a terrible pick? Justin Salas says this NBA season has been interesting for sure. Like the top teams aren't separating themselves at all. It's crazy that top teams are not separating themselves. That win by the Heat last night was impressive. If you did not see Suns and Heat last night, that was an impressive win. 113-112.
Yeah.
And Devin Booker has 25 points, 2 of 7. But if you look at the way they won that game, it's Bam Adebayo, 30 points and 10 boards, a double-double. Butler, Martin, and Lowry all had 15. And they got Robinson, Vincent, and Dedmon off the bench in double figures. But you know the one thing about Kyle Lowry that drives me crazy? That guy is constantly laying on the floor.
Yep.
Constantly. Flopping, throwing himself around.
And then you wonder why you're hurt.
You cannot play in the NBA doing that. And they have got to blow the whistle on that.
Yeah.
Because you are putting other players at danger. And I just don't think he cares about that.
No, not at all. And I think he's always been a master of, and again, I'm not even criticizing him. I think in the NBA, you got to know how to flop. Like, he knows how to flop.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of knowing how to play this game at a high level, did you happen to notice that LaMelo Ball is back for Charlotte?
Dude.
And he's back in a big way. LaMelo Ball, last night plays 34 minutes, 17 points, but 9 dimes, 4 boards. 1 of 1 from the line, 4 of 15 from 3. There's a struggle. But they won 112-105.
Yeah.
And it's pretty remarkable. They're 4-11 now, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They have been a much better team in the 2 games he's played. But again, I'm just gonna point out that without Paolo Banchero last night, Jalen Suggs scored 2 points in 30 minutes. How important is Banchero to that team?
Yeah, clearly very important.
Yeah, I mean,
clearly
he is huge for that team. And by the way, the other game I wanted to talk about real quick, Clippers and Rockets last night. I watched a good part of that game. Dude, I am telling you right now that you are looking at a team in the Clippers that is load managing their players. John Wall did not play in this game, and they still scored 122 points. And they did that without Kawhi, without John Wall.
Yeah.
Because they're getting 17 points in 23 minutes from Norman Powell on 1 of 6 from 3. I will just continue to espouse the greatness of the LA Clippers because that team is going to be impossible to beat.
Yeah, and I think, Paul George is just silky smooth. Paul George is someone who we were watching highlights on SportsCenter this morning, and it never looks like he's in a hurry. He's just playing his game, and, he's torturing you, and he's just kind of going about it, and the ball is just wet.
And very quietly, I've been watching one particular player, and I haven't said much about him, but I'm ready to come out publicly now and espouse my faith in Kevin Porter Jr.
Okay, wait, here, hold on. Okay, go ahead. Yep, go ahead. All right, yep, got the music.
Kevin Porter Jr., I'm telling you right now, is a stud. The guy is, I love watching him play.
Right. 19
points a game this year, 6 rebounds, 5 dimes. I'm telling you right now that on that team, he and Jalen Green are the straws that make that drink turn.
Yeah.
And I don't know which of these guys are going to wind up sticking with Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you playing this music right now?
Because you're espousing.
Anyway, my point is, I don't know how many of those guys stick with Houston, but I think Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. are going to be absolute stars in this league. And if you're not watching the Houston Rockets every chance you get, you're missing out. Because it's cool what Oklahoma City's doing. Did anybody see Josh Giddey last night throw the ball off the back of the backboard? I'm not sure what rule in Australia that covers. He tried to inbound the ball last night, and Josh Giddey's a stud, by the way. He tried to inbound the ball last night. He threw it off the back of the backboard.
And they allowed that?
Turnover. No.
Oh.
You can't do that in this country.
Oh.
Turned it over. But I just point to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last night, 13 of 26.
Yeah.
He makes 2 3-pointers and scored 37 points.
Yeah, dude.
9 of 9 from the
He's
line.
off to a great start this year.
8 dimes, 4 boards, a block, only 4 turnovers. How long is he in Oklahoma City Thunder? Because I don't think it's long.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, he could be there a long time if they invest in the team, or he may not be there very long at all. You know, like that's how the league works.
Yeah, and by the way, Jazz and Knicks tonight, Mavs and Clippers tonight.
I hate Luka.
I hate Luka so much.
Like, I hate the guy.
I do. Let's see. Brent Burnett says stock being hammered for open ATM is Zella. Getting whiplash as it goes up 50%, down 20% in the battle of the Bears and Bulls against Zella Open ATM. Okay.
At the moment.
Yeah, you know. At the moment. Okay. Kurt Meyer says, is it football at 50? My clock is broke.
Here we go. See, I try to have a little fun, and this is the reaction I get. You know, I try to play the music a little more, and this is what I get.
Nobody thinks you're fun.
I know.
San Diego State Aztecs says the Heat got physical with Phoenix in the fourth quarter. The Suns need to get tougher in that regard. They blew a double-digit lead. Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing Chris Paul because Devin Booker for the Suns cannot bring the ball up. He is just he gets tripled. The Heat were triple teaming him last night. He was bringing the ball up. Campaign's not an on-guard point guard. That experiment's over. But Devin Booker last night's bringing the ball up for the Suns, and they're sending two right away and a third into the passing lane. Like, you need a point guard. He is all they have offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. So ATM means at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Teddy Wayman says SGA needs to get out of OKC. He does.
Seriously.
Houston has had some good moments. Thunder look dangerous. Get Chet and watch out, Brent Burnett says. Well, that's your boy. You know. Jesse Harsh says, Monty, Kawhi will be impossible to keep on the floor. I mean, that knee injury.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Hey, Claw.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that
bad.
knee injury to Kawhi, those are bad ones. That's a year, I'm telling you. That is a year. It just is what it is. Teddy says we all hate Luka.
Thank you, Teddy.
I think it's
Thank you.
unanimous. Yeah. It's unanimous. Boyd Lake says, wait, did I hear the swaying music? I thought I did.
No, you didn't. That was actually just in your imagination.
Ayahuasca. Suns passed their window. No Paul, no good. I would agree with that. So off topic, but we're going to have a Monty Day up at the slopes. I'm there to show you how to properly shred the gnar.
Shred the gnar.
Well, you know, the funny thing is Utah is open for business in the snow season. Park City opens tomorrow. We were originally going to go snowboarding tomorrow after the show.
Oh, but we have meetings and we have things to do because we're adults.
Yeah, we have to adult tomorrow. We were originally then going to go snowboarding on Saturday, but now we're going to be at Super Chicks in Ogden this Saturday on Riverdale Road. I think we're calling it 10 to noon, but we'll confirm that time. But playing 10 to noon.
Yeah.
We'll confirm that time as the week goes on.
Come out, get registered to win tickets. Let's go.
And again, I know we talk a lot of food on this show, and we talk a lot of chicken sandwiches, and we talk a lot of Super Chicks. We're putting our money where our mouth is. Again, another local entrepreneur opening up a business, Super Chicks in Ogden. Let's get out and support Taylor and the guys at Super Chicks in Ogden. They're giving away free meals to the first 100 people through the door on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Make that Monty Show listeners. Let's do that. We are going to have an enter to win box. You can win tickets to go to the Jazz game versus the Cavs with us coming up in January, as long as we get to 9,000 subs.
Subs.
Now,
we know that Justin Salas has made a second account.
He has.
Just to try to win the tickets.
And we are at 7,898 on the show today. 7,898. So all we need is 1,102 subscribers by the end of the year.
And
we
while
can do that.
Seems like a lot for this show, we can definitely do that.
We can do that. So let's get that hooked up. Let's start by getting that hooked up this Saturday at Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road. It's their grand opening. You know how much I have waxed poetic about the ranch dressing at Super Chicks. Come and try some. Do it on the house, man.
I'm about it.
I'm all about it. I am. I'm telling you.
And if you're not a ranch person, they've also got a variety of sauces.
No, they don't. They only serve ranch. That's it.
Okay.
One sauce. All they serve. No, they don't. They have a variety of. So they're Mrs. Monty. Mrs. Monty, who's never on the show anymore because she hates us.
Yeah, she hates the show. You know, she's not a fan.
We smell.
Just,
it is
right,
what it is.
Yeah.
But Mrs. Monty loves their honey mustard. All their stuff is great. You know, we're huge fans of Super Chicks. So come on out. Get your deluxe chicken sandwich. It is. Deluxe chicken sandwich.
No,
Yes.
I'm not gonna play your games. I mean, we all know that it's the Bacavo, but you don't want to admit
and
that.
it's Bravocado is what I'm going to call it. But all their chicken is good. Get their chicken strips if you like. First 100 people eat free.
Yes.
And then enter to win to go to a game with Jake and I. The Utah Jazz take on Cleveland Cavaliers and Donnie. We'll even buy you a jersey in the team shop, a custom one or whatever jersey you want in the team shop. And then we'll hang out and watch the game with you. And I believe that's January 10th at the beautiful Vivint Home Arena. Vivint Smart Home. Why can't I call it just
call
Vivint
it the
Arena?
Viv. Just call it the Viv.
The Viv. At the Viv.
Y'all feel me?
At Vivint Arena as the Jazz take on the Cavs. So come out, see us this Saturday up in Ogden at Super Chicks on Riverdale Road. Can Jake's nickname be Eeyore? Why he hating on you, man?
I don't know.
Why he hating on you?
I don't know.
Tom says Luka is so tough. If he wasn't so tough and powerful, I'd be able to not like him. He really is the second coming of Bird. Stop.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
Stop it. Just combine all of your monikers into one pejorative. Okay, Skeet. Justin Salas says, I don't know if I want to be on the same mountain as Monty. I saw you take out a skier.
Dude. That was so crazy, though.
It was. So we were on a double black at Mammoth. We went all the way to the top of Mammoth.
11,000 feet,
11,053 feet.
Yeah.
And the first drop at the top of Mammoth is a double black, just bomb. And I lost my heel edge, and there is no stopping yourself. And it was funny because in the video, you can see one skier go blowing by on the right.
Barely.
On his ass. On the left, there was another snowboarder. Like it is nothing to play around with. It is nothing to play around with. And so, yeah, I was just straight down the hill on my hindquarters. And yeah, I clipped a skier with the right tip of my snowboard.
Yeah.
So, Kurt Meyer says, man, you guys are letting work get in the way of business. Yeah, that's who we are right now.
Yeah.
Neville says, what time they open? I'm not sure, but I think we'll be there around.
It's going to be 10 to noon.
We'll be there around 9, but I think they open at 10.
Yeah.
Killer Nation says, love Cam. If he has eligibility left, he should stay. He's an NFL backup. Still pays well, but also go Jazz. Love the chemistry of this team. Good to see you, Killer Nation. Appreciate it. Jesse Harsh says, Jeremy, do you even shred pow on the reg? Wow. Justin Salas says, do I need to be there on Saturday to win the tickets, or will just being a subscriber work? No, we'd love to see you.
Yeah, we'd love for you to come out,
can
man.
absolutely enter to win the Cavs tickets. But yeah, we'd love to see you. Are you, Justin, are you back in Utah yet? Tom says, I'll take care of the two with some alts. Okay, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, all right.
Brent Burnett says, love Jazz chemistry, which means love winning. Yes.
Right.
Justin South says, can I send someone to my place because I'm still in Texas for another month?
Yes,
sure,
you can. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now, they need to have Justin Solace 2 written on their shirt, so we know, but,
Yeah.
Yes, of course
Tom
you can.
says, going to stream on Saturday? Yes, it'll be a live 2-hour football show as we get you ready for Utah and Oregon. BB says, Super Chicks address.
Let me get that out real quick.
It's on Riverdale Road in Ogden.
Hang on. Where are we at here? 1140 West Riverdale Road in the city of Riverdale, 84405.
We'll have far more details as the week goes on. Brett Burnett says, what address and time again for Super Chicks? 10 to noon. That's the address.
Yeah.
Kurt Meyer says, dang it, guys, I can't make it to Ogden Saturday. That's okay. It's a Super Chicks. Is a Super Chicks a Russian dating business that offers food? It is. How did you know?
What are you talking about, man?
What? You said Jake's no fun like every show, Monty. That's why Eeyore. He is no fun. Jake is miserable to be around all the time, and he smells. You know what? I was trying to not.
Oh my God.
I was trying not to cough, and so I wanted to. Dying.
Damn.
BB says they open at 11. We could make it 10 for Monty Show listeners.
Yeah.
This game coming up with the Utah Jazz and the Suns would be really interesting, Neville says. I believe that's Friday. F&A. Dallin Sproul says, type in Super Chicks on your phone and it pops up. Cha-ching. Gumbylicious says, too bad I don't live in Utah. Truth.
You can fly in like Gabe did.
Yeah, get a helicopter.
Yeah.
Jesse Harsh says, do they know that Ogden is the ugly stepchild of Utah City?
Jesse, that's not very nice, bro.
Jesse?
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Come on now. Kurt Meyer said what Jesse said. Wow. Why are we hating on Ogden today?
What's wrong with Ogden, bro?
Good Lord. Justin Saul says, Monty, what are you choking on? My own saliva. I was trying not to. It was one of those things where I was trying not to cough, and so I swallowed to stop the cough. And
oh my God, just like that.
Stop it. Stop it. That's unnecessary. You know. Dallin Sproul says, not nice, but true. Sproul? I can't remember. Sproul. That's right. Jesse says, Jesse ain't wrong. Why are we hating on Ogden? Which city would be better for an NBA expansion, Mexico City or Ogden? He didn't say that. He said Mexico City or Las Vegas. Las Vegas, Gage, by far.
Yeah.
Kenai Johnson just laughs at me. Thank you. See? I tried to stop a cough and a burp came out.
Oh, my God.
I tried to stop a cough.
Hey, look at me.
Dude.
Boyd wants to know, isn't Ogden where the Dairy Utes live? The USU Ags. What is wrong with me right now?
Yeah, are you okay, bro?
So I'm at the dentist yesterday.
Oh, boy.
I had an incident at the dentist yesterday.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I did. On the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. So I had a cap on my back tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And it broke. The filling in the tooth broke, so they had to put a cap on it, a crown.
Right. Yeah.
And so I go to the dentist yesterday. They had a temporary on. It broke. It came off while we were in Mammoth. And so I go yesterday, and first of all, it hurt like hell yesterday.
Did it?
Oh, my God.
Like just while you were doing the show? Or what do you mean?
No, well, it had been temperature sensitive since the temporary crown came off.
Yeah.
But I go to the dentist, and they are poking at it to get the cement off of it.
Oh.
And it's just incredibly painful.
But did they numb it? They didn't numb it?
No, because you don't need to numb it to put a cap on it. It's just cement and a cap, dude, right? So she's like, I can numb it if you want. I'm like, nah, dude, because I hate that when your face is numb and you're drooling all over yourself. And yeah, screw that. So, but she's taken this poker tool that all dentists have because they hate other humans.
Right.
Which is why they're dentists.
Right.
And she's just like, and like scraping on the tooth.
And it's very powerful.
The tooth is shaved down so a cap will fit on it, a crown will fit on it. So all the sensitive part of your tooth, nobody cares about this, but the outer layer of your tooth doesn't have nerves in it. The inner layer of your tooth has nerves in it.
Mm-hmm.
So she is just scraping away, heavens to Betsy, getting the cement off of it.
Right.
And it was excruciating. It was one of the worst times. I had a really bad root canal several years ago that was painful, but this was excruciating.
Biggest kick in the balls you'll ever get.
And then I don't know what happened, but they come in and they put the crown on, and it just won't sit down correctly. So I could feel it against my upper teeth a lot. And so finally, the dentist comes in and he's like, I'm just going to shave because I have a filling up here. He's like, I'm going to shave your filling down a little bit. And so he goes to reach for the drill, and I just went to swallow.
Oh, no.
And the crown snapped right into place. And it just wasn't sitting flush, I guess. But the worst part of the whole thing was the dental assistant puts the crown on to make sure it fits. And somehow it popped off my tooth, and it was sitting in the opening of my throat.
Oh, my God, dude. How? How does that even happen?
They were like, don't swallow! Don't swallow! And it's sitting like right in... Dude, it was not a fun trip to the dentist. This is the same place I went, and when they whitened my teeth, I got really bad burns on my gum. I couldn't eat for like a week. If you want to lose weight, go get your teeth whitened. Because you won't eat for a week. It was absolutely brutal.
Dude.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
So I feel obligated to ask, why is this the dentist you continue to go to then if you're not having...
Because he's actually a really good dentist.
Oh, okay.
He's actually a really good dentist.
I see.
But goddamn, and the last time when he fixed the filling and shaved the tooth, this is where it my face exploded when he put the needle in my gum. I don't know why I keep going.
Damn.
I don't know why. I don't know why. Eric in Raleigh says, time to go to Costa Rica for dental work. Yeah, maybe, man.
Whatever.
Maybe. Austin says, West Valley, the armpit of Utah, and Ogden's being renamed Little Mexico, and I love it. It is not.
No, it's not.
Don't
hate, dude. Everybody says that. That's not true, man.
Every neighborhood. I live in South Jordan, Daybreak. We have our parts of Daybreak that are not great. Every city has it. I have never had an issue in Ogden.
Yeah.
I like Ogden. I've been up there when we used to work with.
It's a good city, dude. Like, there's not like you guys are speaking on reputation.
Yeah, like Wasatch Front Kia. Remember the guys at Wasatch Front Kia, Wasatch Front Kia on Riverdale Road in Ogden. Yeah, we used to I've never had a problem up there. What are you talking about? Jesse Harsh says only Utah natives know anything north of Salt Lake City is inhabitable. No, Bountiful. So Bountiful is inhabitable.
Dude.
What are you
That's
talking
true.
about?
Woods Cross is super nice. Ogden is nice.
Come on. Justin Saul says, last time I went to the dentist for a routine cavity filling, the dentist drilled too deep, so I had to get a root canal. And even though it was their fault, I had to pay for it. Hate the dentist. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
No,
but you know what? If you're
fine.
going to get a root canal, ask them if they can do the water root canal. Where they put it is the most painless
hydrojet.
Yeah, they essentially hydrojet your cavity out.
Yeah,
it is absolutely what you should do. It's absolutely what you could do. Boyd said you could call it your poop crown. No, that was the temporary that I split in half and swallowed in Mammoth,
dude.
You know, Monty, your dental story is going to make blackout ZZ. Please stop. Yeah, well, you know. Kurt Myers wants to know if that's vegan. It's not. Jesse Harsh says, I live in West Valley. Fun fact, just by living here, you automatically become... Stop. Jesse, that's not true. That's not true. Kurt Myers says, Jake, stop defending the indefensible. Boyd Lake says, I grew up in Taylorsville, delivered papers. There are pockets. True.
Yes,
there are pockets
every
everywhere.
city has bad pockets, man.
Yes. I mean, you know. Just everywhere. Connor Tulin says, that's awful, Justin. Yeah, I know. I agree. Hell no, it's not Little Mexico. Rose Park is Little Mexico.
Well.
I'm telling you, Rose Park is investor heaven.
Yeah.
You know.
The Avenues is awesome, dude.
You know. BB says, Salt Lake, you great place. Nothing like seeing homeless everywhere. Wow.
Man, y'all are salty today.
You
bro.
are all
Damn.
salty today.
Oh, that's okay. Saturday, you can come and get a free chicken sandwich. How about that?
Yeah, come see us in Ogden, I guess, if you want to. I mean, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know. It's fine. Let's see. I see Jeremy Bolton says, come up to Centerville where the real deal. Suck South Valleyers. Is Centerville like where it's at? There it is. Come up to Centerville. We the real deal. Suck South Valleyers. You know.
Thanks.
Jeremy, you better be
Thanks.
come on, man. You got to come to Super Chicks.
Yeah.
Super Chicks.
Don't cop
Riverdale
out.
Road
Let's go.
in Ogden on Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Gage Carter says, my dad used to live in the Avenues. Love the Avs.
Yeah, the Avs is tight, dude.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Let's see. Being salty is in our blood. We are from Salt Lake. Truth can I?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you know. It says, I love Ogden and Layton is the best. Layton's great. I love
Layton's
Layton.
pretty nice, actually.
You should go to the barbecue pit stop in Layton, Logan, Lehigh, St. George, or Salt Lake City to see our friends at barbecue pit stop. You know, let's see. I read gas meters for Mountain Fuel Questar while going to school from 3500 south north to Farmington. Lots of interesting neighborhoods in the valley. Farmington is actually completely different now.
Yeah.
I mean, Farmington, you would not recognize Farmington. You wouldn't. I mean, all the way from Brigham down pretty much to...
Look, KVN, take it easy.
Okay.
Brigham.
From Brigham City all the way down. All the way down the Wasatch Front is so different in the last 3 to 5 years. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing. I mean, I don't know.
There's definitely been a lot of turnover.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, let's get to our food non-sports topic because then we got to roll. Is fast food too expensive? What's your favorite fast food? So what is your go-to fast food?
Go-to fast food. That's a tough one.
I mean, for me, it's either Super Chicks.
And that's not even a joke. I mean, we eat Super Chicks a lot. I would say when we're trying to do well at Chipotle, all jokes aside, like you can eat well at Chipotle.
But see, I think Chipotle is the exact center of this conversation.
Well, yeah, of course it is. But my question is, well, let's get into the numbers first. How about that? So, the essence of this topic is food costing more and more and more and more. So generally speaking, fast food, according to this Eat This Not That article, is up 8.5% in comparison to last year, right? So like a lot of people are frustrated with Domino's Mix and Match deal jumping from $5.99 to $6.99 and now $7.99, right? So you've gone from $5.99 to $7.99 in a year, essentially, right? And then you look at places like Shake Shack, right?
I love Shake Shack.
Yeah, like Shake Shack is really good. Fry Game is good. Chicken Sando is, it's good. But what is that noise? Do you hear that buzzing noise?
I do.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, Shake Shack is all right. Like, I'm okay. I go there every once in a while. But like Shake Shack is even up 7%. So like,
Shake Shack is not cheap.
Don't
kid yourself.
Like Five Guys is number one on this list for cost. And we've talked Five Guys a lot on this show. I love Five Guys.
The best burger. You want a burger? Like, hey, Super Chicks for, I don't know what that sound is. Super Chicks for chicken sandwiches. But for burgers, we always tell you it's Five Guys, right? Like Five Guys, Super Chicks. But Five Guys is it's $32.
Well, no. So a recent viral TikTok showed a meal for two at Five Guys, including 2 bacon cheeseburgers, 2 fries, and 2 drinks, coming out to $70.
No, that's not true.
Well,
that's not true. Is it? Maybe I haven't been.
Australia.
Yeah.
It was in Australia. So
for the two of us to eat at Five Guys is about $32.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
But if you go to McDonald's, it's not that cheap. I'll tell you what, we went to Taco Bell for 3 people. It was $70 last week.
Yeah, but we got a ton of food.
Yeah, but what did we get? We got 2 Mexican pizzas. We got a dozen tacos and 3 Crunch Wraps.
Yeah.
That was $67 last week. It's stupid expensive.
Yeah.
And I just, oh, hell yeah, JCWs. I love JCWs.
And so the question really is, what are you willing to pay for? What are the must-haves? Because I maintain, again, all jokes aside, right? Chipotle is definitely a staple. Because you can eat well there. Like you look at Five Guys is not a staple, but it's probably something I'd love to have once a month. Where you go there and you just enjoy the hell out of that thing. Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough, man. Prices are going up on everything.
I think it's ridiculously expensive. If you're watching this show, please give us a thumbs up right now. That really helps the channel grow. And then drop a comment with your favorite fast food. So let's rank our favorite fast food.
Yeah.
If we're talking burger joints, because I don't put Five Guys and Super Chicks in fast food. I call that fast casual.
Right. It's different.
Strictly fast food. If I'm going burger, I'm probably going to Burger King because the double cheeseburger at Burger King is flame grilled, undefeated. For breakfast, I'm probably going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. Now, if we're talking fast casual, my go-to has been Super Chicks especially since they opened in Riverton.
Yeah.
Right there off of Mountain View Corridor at Mountain View Village, Super Chicks. That's my go-to fast casual. If they are, I don't know, if we want something different, I will probably go to JCW's, which is right down Mountain View Corridor.
Mm-hmm.
But 9 days out of 10, I want to eat at Chipotle.
Facts.
But I have a love-hate relationship with Chipotle. We have talked about this repeatedly on this show. I have days where I love Chipotle. I have days where I hate Chipotle. And then there are days that I hate Chipotle, followed by more days where I hate Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
And mainly because their service sucks. They're too expensive. But their food is flipping amazing.
Yeah.
Their food is really, really good.
Well, and I think the thing with Chipotle that I enjoy a lot is you have this ability to really cater your food, meaning that at Burger King, you're just going to get whatever they put out. So some days you'll get a great burger, but then other days the burger will suck. You know that at Chipotle, you're going to get a pretty standard level of food. And I like that some days I'm not as hungry, but I know I need to eat and I want to go in and I want to get a lot of fiber, let's say, on any given day. So I'm going to get beans and rice and veg, right?
Yeah.
I know that that's what I want. On other days when I'm starving, like right now, I would go in there and I would get a steak bowl with rice and beans and I'd probably throw some queso in that thing.
But you know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is yesterday not intentionally. I forgot I had a dentist appointment until they called me and asked me to come in early. I didn't eat yesterday until 5:30, and I had 2 cups of oats. My wife made me oats. She makes the most amazing stovetop oats. But I'm eating less and less and less. And I'm hungry less and less and less. And it's really thinned me out. And I have figured out eating 1 meal a day is where it's at for me. And because we walk, I generally am getting 5,000 to 7,000 steps more than I used to get. And it makes all the difference in the world. But I'm telling you, I say that to say, man, there's so much. Oh, Lopes fan Gabe, yes. Lopes fan Gabe says, we hit Taco Bell for the first time in forever after trunk or treat a few weeks ago and dropped $35. Mrs. Lopes fan and I were like, damn, that would have fed a football team in high school. Do you remember how many times in high school there was a Taco Bell down the street from my high school.
Yep.
We would get out of school, go to baseball practice, walk to the Taco Bell, and you'd spend like $5 each, and you would just get a mountain of food.
Well, and I think that was the value proposition of Taco Bell. Hey, you're going to get like 5-7 tacos. You're going to get a pile of food for pretty much nothing, and you're going to feel great about it. And I think that it's really sad because, obviously everyone feels, the impacts of inflation, and you start to see it in these areas, and you're like, damn, dude, like it's bleeding us dry. And that's, and again, I'm not even trying to be corny about it. That's why the TryDayTrading.com thing is so important to us, because that is one of those opportunities where you can overcome that burden of inflation, where you can overcome, the challenges of it, because it's real. Like I'm paying $1,750 for a 1-bedroom apartment, bro. Like gas is not cheap. Like food is not cheap, as we're discussing. Like inflation's real, So it's like it's just tough sometimes.
Yeah, I think Taco Bell used to be that go-to, because I don't care what anybody says. There's no more dollar menu at restaurants. That doesn't exist anymore.
No.
It just doesn't. Austin says $70. That's insane. It was insane.
Well, remember that's in Australia though too. So you gotta consider import costs.
Jeremy Bolton says Chipotle is stable if I want to lose 10 pounds of weight the next day. See, it doesn't run through me like that. It doesn't run through me like that.
Nah.
I don't know why. Gage Carter, Utah needs to get a cookout. Got them here in SC. Burger, 2 sides, and a drink, like $6-7. Man, that sounds perfect. Austin says Jack in the Box, but we don't have Jack in the Box.
Yet.
We went to Elko. We went through Elko and had Jack in the Box last weekend. It was amazing. BK Wendy's Jack, Los Polos Hermanos. Gumbylicious says, okay. I like that. I'm a big Wendy's fan. I like the Dave's Double, undefeated. Get the app and get free food. Also fast service with mobile order. Lots of deals in the apps. Ooh, I like it. Kanai Johnson says, Bacon King from Burger King is fire. Never had it. Benjamin Rowe says, JCW's for fast casual for the win. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I would. Dude, JCW's has everything you want. Their fish sandwich at JCW's, I'm telling you. Oh, Teddy Wayman, my guy. Apollo Burger all day.
Yeah, Apollo
Burger has those fried mushrooms. Oh, my God. They're so good. BB says Burger King and Little Trick, you can add lettuce and stacker sauce for free. Okay. Salad and Go is quality, affordable, and you get a lot for your money, Lopes fan Gabe says.
All right.
Okay. I have a Sharks burger and a Marco's Pizza about a quarter mile from my house. So good. Marco's Pizza is actually really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Austin says Chipotle I've never tried. I thought it was only for wealthy people. You guys are in another food tier than me. Well, it's worth it.
I love that show.
It's expensive, but the food is so good. And I like Cafe Rio a lot. I prefer the food at Cafe Rio because it's not healthy, clean food. Like at Cafe Rio, they put their black beans in oil. At Chipotle, they don't. Like the chicken but this is again why I like Mo Betta's.
Yeah,
because I can just get
Mo Betta's is.
I'm telling you, but what is Mo Betta's? Mo Betta's is $50. If we're going to Mo Betta's, it's $50. Period. Point blank. That is what it is. Kurt Myers says, shout out for the Whistle Walk and American Fork. Never had it, but sounds good. Let's see. Skeet says, if I had stayed at Bountiful, then I could have been a fan. Okay. Okay. Brett Burnett, you've never had Chipotle. Had too many bad reports with people mishandling food. Nah, man. They're okay. I mean, there are a lot of reports of that, but
if you think that every chain doesn't go through that, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Every chain has that problem.
Brett Burnett says inflation real, so stop renting and stop with the mortgage. Just own outright with cash and have no payments. Yeah, I mean, it's super easy. We'll just why don't we all just go pay cash for a $500,000 house?
Well,
that's cute.
The funny thing
I remember
about
when I had my first beer.
The funny thing about mortgage right now is everybody's like, oh, it's a terrible time to buy, though. Rates are high. It's actually not a terrible time to buy, and the rates are not historically high. They are higher than the 2s and 3s that we've had, but that's why we're in the position we're in, because everybody and their brother could get 3%, and so it caused this ridiculous housing boom. If you want to refi, now is not the time to refi. Mortgage rates are terrible for refi. But if you're buying a house, 6% is not an exorbitant mortgage rate. I keep trying to tell people this. If you're in position to buy a house, especially if you can get FHA and you can qualify at 6% FHA, why would you say no to that?
Yeah.
If you're a first-time home buyer, why would you not do that?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But the hard part is now finding a house that's markedly priced. You have to be a savvy negotiator.
You gotta. I saw a video the other day, man. You have to drop disrespectful offers.
You do.
That's how they worded it. Just drop the offer, because the worst they can say is no.
That's exactly right. Jesse Harsh says In-N-Out is always good. The burgers are good. The politics are terrible. Lopes fan Gabe says that Taco Bell $59, $79, $99 menu was fire. Oh,
yeah.
my
Well,
God.
that's what I'm saying. They were playing on that, and it was really smart.
God. Remember, oh, yeah, let me throw some cinnamon twists in there. I got $5. Let me top that off with cinnamon twists. And you get a burrito supreme, a drink, and some cinnamon twist? My God.
Bomb.
Every day. Let's see. Tom says 3 Jack in the Box in southern Utah. Nobody goes. Ghost town. Gross food. No, it's not. It's not. And by the way,
do you ever say anything positive, bro?
But the last time that we were at Jack in the Box in St. George, the line was forever. It was forever. Jack's fries and tacos. Yes, Gumbylicious. Crown Burger, Jesse, undefeated. Crown Burger, undefeated. That's because Jack in the Box has one of the most expensive opening franchise costs in the fast food game. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. We were
it's
looking
over
at
$1 million.
It's way over $1 million. We were looking at it,
yeah.
And it's. I don't know how you do it. Neville says Wendy's chicken sandwich is killer as well. Can't say I've had it. Oh my God, Hardee's.
Yeah.
You guys remember Hardee's? Oh, as a Midwestern kid, hell yeah, I remember Hardee's. Absolutely. Jesse says R&R Barbecue. There's a new one at Mountain View Village. There's
if you
a new
can't
one.
tell, we go to Mountain View Village a lot.
Well, it's beautiful. Why wouldn't you? Remember Hardee's? I do, yes. Lopes fan Gabe says, if we're talking fast food hacks, get the McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit and ask to swap round egg for folded one. Absolute game changer. That's a Jake thing.
Yeah.
That's a Jake thing.
Yeah.
Boyd Lake says my first mortgage was 7.75%. It is but that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna probably try. There's no reason not to.
You have to. The
thing
problem
is, as a first timer, you can get zero down. That's the thing.
But you're a first timer who works for himself,
mm-hmm.
so you're gonna have to have a larger down payment.
Neat.
But the average guy, I mean, it would be ideal to pay cash for a house. You can't. 9 out of 10 people can't do that.
Yeah.
But if you can get 6%, if you're a first-time home buyer, let's call it $400,000. Buy yourself a townhouse for $400,000 at 6%. If you can afford that mortgage. Never sell that townhouse. Because that townhouse will be worth $600,000 5 years from now. That's just the way the market works. Real estate is undefeated. And any time, and you go back and look at history, anytime we have been in this place where mortgages are not going out the door, rates are higher, the billionaires are making more billions on you
mm-hmm.
because they're acting and you're not. Because they know darn well, like we talked about Rose Park earlier today. If you don't understand that Rose Park is absolutely an equity play, you are crazy. You are crazy. The teardown game in Rose Park is going to be prolific whenever it pops off. Rose Park is absolutely an equity play.
Yeah.
But you got to have money. You got to have cash. And I as Brett Burnett, I think, was saying it, man. You have to you have to be aggressive. Tom says $400,000 townhouses make me sick. $250,000 townhouses make me smile. Well, talk to Edge Homes.
Yeah.
Because the new townhome builders are absolute. Like what's going on in Daybreak right now is they are. You walk in for a showing and they're wearing a mask and they're holding a gun, and they're going to put that gun to your head, and you're going to buy a townhouse for $500,000. And I'm telling you not to do it. If you are somebody that is walking into a new build thinking you are in a good position, you're wrong. You don't know what you're doing. And I'm telling you now, new builds are great. Everybody loves it. You get a warranty, like it's beautiful. Oh, I built a house. Look at how big I am. Okay, cool. 9 out of 10 people are not in equity in a new build home in 2 years. And I'm telling you, in this marketplace, there is no reason that you should buy a house and not be in equity off the jump or in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, you shouldn't do it because life happens. And if you need to get out of that, you need to be able to flip it quick. And everybody says, well, this is my forever home. There's no such thing. I'm telling you, there's no such thing because especially if you are a young first-time home buyer, if you are under 40 and you're a first-time home buyer, that home you're buying now is not your forever home. The thing you learn when you buy your first house is you're going to buy another one and you're going to open up a Home Depot account. It just is what it is. Those are the things you do. You buy your first house, you sell your first house, and in between, you opened a Home Depot account. Just do it. Just do it. I'm telling you now, if you buy a new build, Uncle Monty warned you. Right now on the show, November 15th, 9:04 a.m. If you buy a new build, don't say you didn't know. Because I am telling you, as a guy who's been a real estate agent, I'm not giving you advice. This is just my opinion. I've been a real estate agent. I've flipped houses, and I've bought a new home. I bought my new house, and I was in equity like 15 minutes later. Because I bought the last plot of land on an end unit, and they wanted to move it because they had another development. And I walked away, and I made less than 2 years later, I made $150,000 on that house. You can do it. You can do it. Tom says, this talk is very much Monty talking to Jake. Well, we have these conversations all the time.
Y'all about to fuck this up.
But we talked about this the other day. He never takes my advice. He never takes my advice. But I'm not criticizing you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why you make so many mistakes. You know. Let's see. Boyd, D restaurant is GOAT. D is good. People love D.
Yeah, big fan of D, huh?
Life advice with Uncle Monty, Gumbylicious says. Hey, man. Hey, man. Haha, so true. Home Depot, close Lowe's. Yeah, well, you know. Home Depot or Lowe's, one of the two, you're getting in an account with them. I'm just telling you that. Two types of people, those that collect it and those that pay it. Avoid paying interest and mainly being leveraged. Make it a goal and get debt-free. Get cash flowing. Investments are great when money. Investments are great. It's true. And as somebody who's debt-free, I'm telling you, it's the way to live your life. It's the way to live your life. D's in Ogden, a plate full of bacon, $3 all you can eat, pretty much. Pretty much. Okay, so our favorite fast food, like drive-through place is...
Jack in the Box.
Our favorite fast casual is...
Five Guys.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm going Super Chicks.
Oh.
Five Guys or Super Chicks?
Sorry, I was in the burger lane. Yeah, I mean... Generally speaking, Super Chicks is where I go way more than Five Guys. I mean, Five Guys is like...
Five Guys, I just look at Five Guys as a luxury.
Once every, couple... I said once a month earlier in the show, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's like once every couple of months.
Yeah, we never go to Super Chicks. Or Five Guys.
Super Chicks is probably... I don't know. We probably eat there 3-4 times a month.
At least.
Right? Not... Because, you think about, no, I don't go that much. And then you start thinking about it, you're like, yeah, you do go that much.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Austie says, be nice to everyone, Monty. To Eeyore, Monty. He's a good guy. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Eeyore doesn't work for Jake, by the way. Greg Hawkins gives us $5. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. Let's see. Teddy Wayman says, nah, Apollo Burger Guys is where it's at. Okay. Brent Burnett says, there it is. Nice. Thumbs up. Yeah, give us a thumbs up, man.
Let's go.
We appreciate that. All right. So, again, don't forget, we will be at Super Chicks in Ogden coming up on Saturday. We'll have more details as the week goes on, but plan for 10 to noon. The first 100 people through the door get free food. Make that Monty Show, listeners. Let's go. And we're also registering you to go to the Cavs game with us against the Jazz at Vivint. We're going to drive you there in a black car. You're going to meet us at Maverick Center, get in a black car. We're going to drive you to the arena. We're going to buy you a jersey, and then we're going to watch the game together against the Cavs. So make sure you give us a like. Please hit the like button right now until tomorrow when we do this show all over again tomorrow morning on the Monty Show presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.